Do you want to start this one?
I feel like we should have like confetti or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's. Well, I think that'll start at the beginning of the episode. So this is the 10th episode of Stuck in an Elevator. And our first guest is going to be on. You can see her if you're watching the video thing. Don't talk yet, idiot. Well, you could probably see by the title or whatnot. I'm not going to introduce her yet. Well, I'll introduce her and I'll say her name. But first, let's recap everything that's happened the past week. Shit with Trevor Bauer, which we won't talk about until maybe next week. What else happened?
4th of July.
4th of July happened. We went to our cousin's house, which, speaking of our cousins, shout-outs to Ronnie, RJ, and Jerry. Who else listens?
The nicest guy in the world. Rob.
Yep.
So fucking nice.
A lot of those guys we're going to have as guests. Well, we would like to have them as guests, hopefully one day. Some of the funniest human beings on the planet. They would make for some great episodes.
Yeah, I'm glad you introduced Ryan, too, because I don't want to start a fucking full-out war. Because we were sitting there at the pool table, and they were already like, I'm going to fuck RJ up if I don't get a fucking shout-out. RJ was bragging he got a shout-out before me.
Yeah.
They're ready to fucking throw hands right there in the backyard.
Yeah, so shout-outs to them. Hopefully we can get them on as guests. Those I'm looking forward to those, because those would be really entertaining.
Just the conversations we were having back there about sports, it got like really in-depth. Everybody's different point of views on it. Mm-hmm. Like, it got pretty cool. And
there was some like unpopular shit that I was hearing, like Jerry saying that we should have traded Kershaw, where I was like, oh shit, that's a conversation.
Yeah.
So it's our 10th episode, and we did promise a guest. Yeah. So the first ever guest of the Stuck in Elevator podcast, my best friend, my day one, my favorite sibling on the planet, Lizzie Neg Vasquez.
Lizzie the bear.
Welcome, Neg.
A.K.A. Mini-Me. Little Eric, she was called on 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
I forget.
Lizzie Bear, Neg, Shark. What else do we call her?
Best friend,
yeah.
Mama.
Mm-hmm. Goo Goo Bear.
Goo Goo.
What else?
Sasomia.
Is that it? Make sure you talk louder. Don't be a unique.
I'm not unique.
Yeah, you are. You talk really quiet when you're nervous. Anyways, Neg. So, what was your favorite thing about 4th of July? Let's start there.
There was more fireworks than usual.
It was like a fucking war zone.
Well, we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my dad made a good point, because I remember the whole car ride home, I was trying to decipher what it was that made that 4th of July crazier. And my dad put it perfect. 4th of July last year was at the very beginning of 4th of July. Or, like, not at the very, like, but, like, during 4th of July last year, that's when, like, COVID was at its peak.
Yeah.
So, like, everybody was kind of scared. And so this year is the first year where everybody's getting their vaccines, everybody's getting a little bit more comfortable. So, like, the fireworks were kind of getting fucking let loose, dude.
Dude, it was so smoky. There was so much smoke everywhere.
We were driving in the streets, and it looked like the fucking purge.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, that's nuts. I remember, like, driving with Dad. There was no fireworks. Like, we were out of the neighborhood where all the fireworks were being lit, but there was so many fireworks in the entire city. That was what, Los Angeles? Is that
Pico Rivera?
The city's Pico, but I think the county is LA County, I believe.
So, oh damn. So yeah, it was literally like in the middle of the street. Like there, like, you know, like with like the stoplights and shit like that, and it was just fucking pure smoke. Like, it looked like World War II happened out there.
Dude, it was a fucking rough ride home, too, because there's a lot of fucking drunk idiots out there speeding by. Like, I was trying to, like, stay close, and you see someone, like, woo, woo, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, that's why I'm glad we went home early.
Yeah.
Because I remember we were saying, my mom put it perfect. She was like, the later we go... Anyway, that's another point.
Yeah. And we still got home at midnight, like, after midnight.
It was bad.
I like the smell of fireworks, dude.
Yeah, me too.
Some of them.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I remember even on our way there to 4th of July, there was already, like, a fire.
Oh, yeah, on the Cajon. It was, like, burning right there by Little Creek.
Which,
like...
if you're the fucking guy who's, like, slowing down to look at smoke, dude, suck my ass, please. Jesus Christ.
You could see, like, where Todd. It was fucking stopped. Everybody was, like, right there. Like,
yeah, driving all slow and shit. You're like, okay, dude, that's all you needed to see.
And you don't see
Fucking
nothing.
drive.
It's still fucking smoke. Just
Yeah.
fucking go.
Get
Like,
fucking-
drive to the fucking fire and help put it out if you're that fucking intrigued by it.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. Anyways, we were talking off camera. This is a conversation I actually wanted to have. I was saying, or we were talking about Fast and the Furious, and I said I'm glad I had 26 hours of my life that I didn't waste watching those fucking movies. Because I heard what you guys thought about the newest movie,
Yeah.
which, spoiler alert, apparently they went to space and the shit was fucking dog meat. What were you going to say?
It wasn't terrible. I think they tried too hard, though, 100%.
So remember we were talking about, you asked me what makes a good movie,
Mhm.
and I gave you like my top 5 or something like that, and one of them was good casting. So that's what fucked it up for me. So once something fucks it up in my head, it's hard for me to get back on board.
Yeah.
So like the whole John Cena, like he's great in wrestling, he's just not a good actor. He walks like a duck, he's fucking bow-legged. And then they had Cardi B in there, like great singer, she's got a lot of good songs out there, but she can't act. And like she had like a scene where she was like this badass with the fucking crew of chicks, and it's like there's so many other people you could have put into that role, and like I don't know. And then going to space, I feel like that's when you ruined fucking Jason
nowhere.
Voorhees, when Jason went to space. Then you're like, okay, the fucking series is down the fucking toilet.
Even that, like, you kind of go into that movie not expecting it to be good, so you just kind of take it as what it is, like a fucking garbage dog movie. And you go in there, I enjoyed Jason X because it was fucking whack.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So in that point, there are those movies that are such shit that they're good.
Yeah.
But like, they went to space, and it wasn't even a spaceship. It was a fucking car
They're in a car.
with a big rocket on the back.
They
And
didn't
it
build
was an
up.
old car too.
They
It was
didn't
like
build it up.
it wasn't like a new fucking Ferrari or something.
Yeah, I hope those fucking Harvard nerds come out and just like, that's physically impossible. You know, because I think that would be like, please come out, because it's like, dude, we need to give fucking Fast and Furious a reality check. Because I remember, like, I see snippets of like the first few movies. Like, I feel like the first few movies were like realistic.
No, they were good.
You know,
You
they
need
were
to
like
waste
a
your
little
time on
bit
those
realistic.
Ones. Those ones are too good.
It's like, dude, what the fuck? And so I made a comparison. Oh yeah, so first off, you said like they're so bad they're good. Unpopular opinion to this family, Cat in the Hat is one of those movies.
I thought it was good. I love
I
Cat in the
was
Hat,
like,
dude.
No, if we love it so much because it's fucking hilarious.
Like Nacho
Yeah.
Libre.
But think about it.
Yeah, Nacho Libre too.
Nacho Libre is one of those movies. Cat in the Hat's one of. Think about Cat in the Hat.
Multiplicity.
Weird.
Think about Cat in the Hat.
Weird.
It's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
It's trash. It's a
Well,
trash
that's
movie
Dr.
that's
Seuss.
so bad it's good.
He's weird like that, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah,
compared to the
but
other
it's
ones,
not like you
though.
don't look at that movie like that's a good comedy movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that's one of those movies where it's like it's so bad it's good. Nacho Libre is also one of those movies. Even then, I feel like Nacho Libre is more.
That one's like higher up.
Yeah, it's like a higher tiered trash, but it's good. Movie.
Higher
It's
tier
fucking
trash.
hilarious. It's
Well, okay,
like
so-
dumb humor.
So what I was gonna it's dumb here. So what I was gonna say though is, I compared the Fast series to fucking Despicable Me. They should have stopped Despicable Me after 1.
I love Despicable
No.
Me.
The first.
Stop Despicable Me after 1. Nobody needed a sequel. Nobody needed a third movie. Nobody needed a fucking Minions prequel.
So I get the Minions one. Like, I'm not a big fan of the whole Minions break off, but the Despicable Me's, I do like the Despicable Me's. The first one was the better one. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But like, I still thought it was a great cartoon.
They should have just
Here's-
looked at the Minion though. The
they-
Minion one was good.
When you
It
think
was
about it though,
origin.
they didn't make another Despicable Me movie because they're like, the writers were like, you know what, we have a lot of shit to express with these characters. They were like, oh, it made a lot of money, let's make some more.
They
They didn't
just
come
fucking
in
put
with
it
the
together.
mindset of like, yo, Despicable Me 1 was good. We have some more shit we want to cover. We want some more shit to talk about. They were like, oh, that shit made a lot of movie. Let's fucking half-ass a sequel and a third movie. I'm sorry.
Just bring me the money.
There's only a few movies that fucking aced it, and it's the movies that I guarantee you they had an image for when they made the first one, and that's movies like Toy Story.
Or something
Yeah.
you could go off of.
Something that, like movies like Toy Story is one. I think Toy Story is the only one where I could think like the
I like
second,
Little
third,
Mermaid.
and maybe even the fourth were good.
I like The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid's sequel and prequels.
No, I don't like any of those.
They're good.
I feel like
It's
they're
alright.
B movies, like they're side movies that only fans.
You
will
like
really
them as a little girl though. 100%.
Yeah. What about Cars?
Cars. Okay,
Not the
so this is what I was saying. Had they fucking made Cars 3, Cars 2. Sorry, let me reword that. Had they made the sequel, or had they made the third movie, the second movie, and not made the second movie what it was, like had they just erased fucking Cars 2 from memory and just made the third one, that
Which
sequel,
one was 2?
dude,
Where it's
you
Mater.
don't even know. You don't. That's like the best
They
way to
could have
describe
made
it.
it like
What
a
the fuck is
Mater's,
Cars 2?
like, thing.
So it was fucking garbage. It looked like a short film for like a Disney
It
Channel.
was good, but like not to put in the franchise.
No, it was trash. So
I
what
liked
they
it.
did was
Not
they
the
made like Mater like get like fucking what's it called? They made him kind of like get
So what they did was Lightning McQueen was like big still and getting bigger, and of course Mater, his best friend, was going around and embarrassing him kind of just because Mater is who he is, and so Lightning kind of like got mad at him, and then Mater
like
found
some
his way getting involved with spies and like this whole like underground conspiracy
Is
with
that the one
all
in
the other
Italy or
ones.
something?
yes.
Yeah.
And then he's
And
like
then
a
he like
spy.
uncovers this huge thing, and everyone's about to die, and then he's just kind of like.
Mater's a
Yeah.
fucking spy, and he's got like jets and shit, and it's just like
I think it would have been good as like a
Yeah.
short like side story. Like,
Yeah.
it
okay,
could've
Cars
had-
2 is
should've been.
Fast and the Furious 9.
For real.
Yeah.
Literally. And
For
then
real.
so Cars 3, what I tell Lizzie this all the time. Me and Lizzie talk about movies like all the time. Like I was saying, like me and you started this podcast because we talk so much that we could just like record it and like make a very sound podcast.
Mhm.
Like why not just try to get something out of it? Me and Lizzie could do that too.
Yeah.
Like me and Lizzie talk about so much shit. And one thing we always talk about, one thing I always tell Lizzie is I fucking hate that movies, when they don't make a sequel, if you're gonna half-ass the writing, at the very least, make the fucking vibe and energy the same as the original.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Toy Story is the only franchise for me
Yeah.
that's been able to do that.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's kept the same vibe and energy through all of the movies. Some were better than the others, but it kept the vibe. Like you understand that you're watching Toy Story. Incredibles didn't do that.
So I know this is kind of like off the subject, but still on the subject. I kind of feel like the new Halloween is bringing back the original vibe.
Exactly. That's
Kind
a
of
perfect
erasing
example.
the
That's not off
sequels
topic. That's
and
literally perfectly on topic.
Because some of those other ones, you're kind of like, oh, it was good. Like 4 and 5 were good, but like the other ones, you're like, they're trying too hard.
Well, it's
And then
like
this one
cheesy
with the
and corny, yeah.
music and everything that we talked about,
Mhm.
like you're getting that vibe again of the original,
It
and you're
gets-
like, hell yeah.
It keeps the vibe and essence of the original, and Toy Story's been the only one to do that. Despicable Me hasn't done that. Made
That's
the
a
sequels
very
corny.
bad. Like who cares
Despicable
about
Me
Despicable
made the
Me?
sequels corny as shit, and Minions corny as shit. And then Cars, the sequel is trash. The third movie, had that been the sequel, would have been fucking perfect because
would've
it
made
kept
sense.
the essence of Cars
It
1.
would have made sense.
It made sense, and it kept the essence of Cars 1. Like, I felt like I was watching a
Like
Cars
he's an
movie when
old
I watched
man.
the
He's
third
a
one.
mentor now. Like,
Yeah, and then he, like, helps pass the torch.
I hated
that
that
was
to
dope.
see Lightning.
I
not
know.
be
Give
the
me an
champ
ugly
no more,
feeling.
man.
Like, oh, my child
It
is so
sucks,
bad.
but,
Yeah.
like, when you think about it, like, that's how reality is.
Yeah.
You know, like, think of Lightning McQueen as, like,
I think-
fucking...
I think it was. I took it too serious. Like I'm getting old. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
you
mean?
just
You know what I like
like-
to think about was like Cars 3 where it's like Lightning McQueen was like Kobe. He had to pass the torch, he had to hang it up. And he
Yeah.
didn't go like he probably went out more like fucking who's a good example of a player who like had their career ended because they sucked. Fucking not Kobe, because Kobe dropped like fucking
Phil
60
from
in his-
Hercules. He like tried to train all the gods, and then like they all like Achilles with his heel
Yeah.
face planted, and then
Dude,
Hercules
what's a
was
good
like,
one?
"Oh,
Hold on.
Like Steve Nash.
Sure, where it's like they had
Now
an
he's a
amazing
great coach.
career. Yeah, so like he had an amazing career, but at the end he kind of just was like, all right, he's done. That's what Lightning McQueen was. Where yeah, like you could tell like in the third movie he'd probably been like on a 17-year like career, and then he was like, yeah, I can't fucking keep up with the young bucks anymore. And then he
Technology
passed
got him.
and then he passed the torch.
Mm.
So that it made sense. The essence was like a Cars movie. Like I felt like I was watching a Cars movie. And then and another example of fucking like movies that can't keep the same energy is fucking Incredibles. That Incredibles 2 sequel was fucking garbage.
It was because they tried to pick up
Garbage.
right where they left off. It would have made sense if they were all older. They tried to pick up exactly where they left off, but with completely new graphics and everything like different.
Dude,
Like it was weird.
Incredibles 1 had like this vibe, like this ominous, like gritty, like edgy, like Disney vibe to it. It was like one of a kind where you watched it and you were like, damn, this is fucking cool. Like superheroes and, all this shit. They made Incredibles 2 like a fucking kids movie and shit. Like when you watch Incredibles 1, it's a kids movie, but it doesn't feel like a kids movie.
Well, the second
Yeah.
one has a little
The
bit more of a
sequel-
mature plot too, though.
Yeah,
to
and
be
that's what I'm
fair.
saying. Keep that with the sequel. If you're gonna make a sequel, don't do it because it has the Incredibles name. Make it because you have an image for it that'll fucking be cool. Like the sequel, like the art wasn't like
I
it was
think
like
they-
too
I think
vibrant for
they-
me for an Incredibles movie. Like I feel like Incredibles 1 didn't have like a vibrant color.
I think they kept on it. Because
How much
when they left off, they completely were like, okay, well now we're getting the supers back. How do we do that? And that's what that was about. And then it ended up being a conspiracy.
These supers look like fucking characters from Pop Tropica.
No, they were doing that.
What the fuck's Pop Tropica?
Did you even watch the movie? Did you watch the movie?
Yes, that movie was trash.
I think
What's
it kept
Pop
going.
Tropica?
It's like you know Club Penguin.
It's like
Kinda.
It's hard to explain because you didn't really have like shit in your.
I used to make
It's like an online game that like multiplayer game that a lot of people like.
He's like bobbleheads and like weird eyes.
Think of Pop Tropica as like an on like. No, never mind. I can't make that comparison.
It's like.
I get what you're saying though. It's like a different.
Yeah, it's like a childhood like thing that we used to play.
So, how much of the writing do you think is stuff that we don't see behind the scenes? Like, the first one was such a hit and made all this money, and then the writer was like, "Okay, so for number 2, I need you to fucking pay me more." And they're like, "You're just a fucking writer. We could get anybody." They get a different writer, and he goes in a different direction with his shit, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's their fault because they don't want to pay.
Yeah.
You know, and they go off like we were talking about the Snyder cut and everything.
Yeah.
In yours solo, you were talking about that how he had a different vision and he kind of fucked it up.
Yeah.
So it could be writers too.
Yeah, it could
they
be.
ruin a great franchise.
And also too, like I feel like when they make sequels, don't try to experiment with the art and like what the graphics look like. Mm-hmm. Like leave the graphical like take it like adventuring off with different art styles to the fucking original movies that you're making. Yeah. Like Luca, you guys said had a different art style that was pretty cool.
Luca. Luca was an amazing.
Soul had a different art style.
Yeah.
Onward had a different art style.
But Soul, to be fair, was going on.
Like... Make Incredibles look like Incredibles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't change it.
Make Cars look like Cars.
Well, Disney is notorious for that. The second one for Mulan wasn't that different, but it was different. Lilo and Stitch, they made a couple different sequels. Like, they were all different.
Those are also great examples of, like, why fucking make a sequel?
They
Just
all make
leave
it different.
And then they're doing this shit, and this is a great fucking segue. They're making a Monsters, Inc. TV show. Dude, let Monsters, Inc. die.
Really?
Dude,
I'm
let Monsters, Inc. die.
Same
I'm going to watch
actors.
it because Monsters, Inc. is my number 1 favorite Disney movie ever made. It's my number 1.
Are so different, though. Like, the
number 1.
Is, like, really
it's my number 1 ever. And then they made like the prequel, and it's like, okay, that didn't keep the original essence, but I still enjoyed it for what it was.
I like that it was an origin though. It was really.
What I liked about it though is it was an origin and a prequel, and so it didn't ruin Monsters Inc. for me.
Yeah.
I think if they were gonna make a TV show, they should have kept the graphics of the prequel.
If they're gonna make the TV show, make it of the original.
I like the prequel.
I like the prequel too. But it's like they're making this TV show and it looks like a fucking dorky thing. It doesn't even look like they're following the story of Sully and Mike. They're like making this new character.
Well, they might not follow the story of that, but now it's like, oh, we need comedians instead of scarers.
So they're doing the plot it makes sense, but it's like I don't want it. So what they're doing is like the plot is like the monsters are trying to accept the reality that it's no longer because you remember at the end of Monsters Inc. He's like it's scary, and then they changed it to comedy.
Yeah, laughter's more better than screams.
Yeah, so they're trying to like it's like the world of monsters trying to adjust to the fact that their job now and their new thing is trying to make people laugh rather than scare them.
I think the biggest thing for me that would ruin it is, and I think you'll appreciate this because you're like big in voice acting, is when they change the actor voices.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't have Billy Crystal in there, like, I know he's a big name actor, and for a show he might not want to do it. You can't get someone that sounds like Billy Crystal and get
or
that
like
same fucking vibe.
Mike Wazowski,
yeah, like that would fucking ruin it for me, dude.
I just hope if they're making a TV show, like, just try to make it like a Monsters Inc. Like make the art style, make the vibe and energy. Like they're not gonna do that. It's gonna be like a corny kids show. I just know it. They're gonna fucking ruin it. But
it's not gonna be one of those things
it's
not gonna be one of those things where like, oh, I can't wait for Friday night to watch a new episode of Monsters Inc.
Yeah, it's gonna literally be like a kids show where like fucking 5-year-olds watch it. It's like, dude, it's like, man, stop ruining my fucking childhood.
Yeah.
It's like if they try to make what's a good example of a movie you grew up on. It's like if they try to make the Goonies like the Goonies, but like they like casted new people and made it like not as like edgy and cool.
I guess I kind of see like they tried too hard with it.
Yeah, where they just use the Goonies name and don't keep the same vibe.
I think they could get away with remaking it. I do not think anyone could get away with remaking Lost Boys though. You can't remake that one.
You can. I think you can.
I don't think you can. The way it's old, the age in it.
Sometimes
is just
when
so
something's that good and great, you don't want it. Because
And
it
it's
pissed
so
me off if they
perfect.
did something wrong. The wrong writer took it over.
Yeah.
And they went in a different direction with something. Like when they tried to remake Pet Sematary and they had the whole switch of the
I
kid.
did not like
You're like,
that. Just
don't
stick with it.
just like they tried too hard to change things up.
So let me
Like,
draw.
that's a great movie.
Yeah, let me draw the line, or like let me draw the difference here. When we're talking about cartoons, we're talking about vibe and essence and all that shit, right? I think that's Belly knocking on the door or some shit. Our cat. Cartoons is different from reality.
Yeah.
From like the real life movies.
I don't
so
know,
with
I
the
could
Pet
argue that.
Cemetery, I mean their approach, like their writers and everything.
Yeah.
They used the Pet Cemetery name because it was an amazing classic, right? But what the difference between cartoon and new movies is with the new movies, they try to be edgy and cool and try to do something different. When it's like, sometimes we don't want something different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if they make a Pet Cemetery like remake, I want the same plot, I want the same things to happen, but I just want more shit from the book.
Yeah. Well,
In a
my biggest
remake.
fear though is like
Make it look
the
better.
society we're in now. If they're like too afraid to be edgy and put something in, like, oh wait, we can't do that because they're gonna be mad, or we got to make sure we put this in there so other people don't get mad, and then you're just taking away from the original movie.
Yeah, it's
That would worry
fair,
me.
but I guess what I'm saying is if you're gonna make a sequel, don't fucking like with Pet Cemetery. They tried
Make
making
it cooler,
they changed the ending
so-
from the original. The ending in the remake is far different from the original. It was fucking weak to me. I was like, oh, okay. And then like, what I'm saying is if you're gonna make a remake, keep like the important shit the same. What we loved about the original is the same, but just like add more like shit from like its original, like its source.
Or even do things that we could do nowadays with movies that they couldn't with that movie back then when it was made.
Yeah, so like for an example, like you were telling me about the book of Pet Cemetery, where there's like dialogue with what's his name, Gage,
Yeah, Gage, and then
and like
Judd.
where like
Judd has a
Gage
whole
is like
story
talking
in there,
shit
dude.
to Judd,
Yeah.
and calling him, like his wife like a whore or some shit.
Yeah.
Like there's like more dialogue. Like maybe add that.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe add some new shit where it's like, oh, like this is new. We're getting something different. We're not getting a copy and paste. We're getting something different, but it's also keeping the same shit that we loved about the original.
Yep.
You know, rather than just trying to fucking change everything.
See, yeah, in the book, the people that come back they have a connection to people that are dead, and they can see like futures and shit like that. Like they're more powerful.
Yeah.
And even in the movie, they don't have that. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking. The
Really?
book is fucking dope.
I was starting it.
And the guy that plays Dexter in that show, Dexter does the voice.
Yeah,
on
I
it,
know,
and
I
his
heard
Oh,
voice
his
is-
voice is very ominous.
I was
Dude,
listening
that
to like
shit
the
was
first couple
fucking
of chapters.
And
It's
then
great.
Judd, you're just like, damn, he sounds like a serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The way he talks.
They're
he
actually
sounds
bringing
like a
that
serial
show back, Dexter. I can't wait.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
So, okay, let me get back on track here. I remember now what I was going to say. So let me refresh your memory. You were actually the one who tagged me in this. They are remaking The Lost Boys, but in a TV show. You tagged me.
Oh,
in it.
shit, I did?
Yeah, you tagged me in it.
Not
And
a
it was
TV
like,
show.
yeah, they were getting writers for it. They were trying to make The Lost Boys a TV show.
I rather
And then
movie.
you tagged me in another one saying they were trying to make The Warriors a TV show too.
How are they gonna
Yeah,
make
the
it?
Warriors be dope.
That one would be fucking fire. The Lost Boys one. Let me argue why I wouldn't be too scared with. Or Lizzie said something that was spot on. Let me touch on what Lizzie said first before I lose it. You said something that was spot on. You were like, you said something, and then I think we interrupted you on accident. I don't know. I think you said something like sometimes less is more or some shit where it's like, what makes the like original so good is that there's not so much CGI and so much money and like fucking income put into it, and sometimes like that fucking like
Just it being old. Like,
yeah, and that's
its
what
time
people
is
love is like the what's it called?
Vintage.
Not the vintage, but it's like
too.
the way they approached. Yeah, but like the approach. They go to the approach in making movies nowadays where it's like, okay, let's get a green screen, let's get some CGI in this.
They want to
scene.
CGI everything instead of
Yeah,
just
instead
wearing
of making-
makeup.
and so that's what I was saying. One thing we loved about the originals and like original horror movies is they didn't have CGI back then.
Yeah,
So they
vampires
were like,
didn't
how do
sparkle.
we make a prosthetic? That's what I was working. How do we get a prosthetic to fucking blow up?
Yeah.
How do we make this
'Cause then
dude
there's
rip
more,
him in half?
Maybe it's more money that way. I don't know, but it's the appreciation for it. You have to love it for its time.
But
Yeah,
I would argue
for
CGI
sure.
takes more. It takes more time, and I guarantee you,
Maybe
it
it's the
takes more
safety
money to pay them.
aspect.
I just like it.
Because
Yeah,
you have to
because-
pay hazard pay for stuff that if you're gonna have someone explode, if someone gets hurt, you have to pay hazard pay, and there's more insurance
That's
involved.
Well, you know,
fair.
at
That's
Universal
fair. No,
Studios,
that's
like,
fair
when you go
because
to the
that's how
thing,
that's how
they have
Brandon
all
Lee
that.
died.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
That's true.
But what I mean is use when it comes to like ripping somebody in half or like chopping someone's head off
Yeah.
or ripping someone's jaw from the face, make that like prosthetics.
Yeah.
because that's one thing we loved about the originals is prosthetics look way more realistic than the CGI.
And people are only getting better with that type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's only getting better.
Dude, you know when it's CGI.
Yeah.
All the time. But if it's a prosthetic, you get a more appreciation for it because you're like, oh, fuck, that looks real.
You know what's crazy? The CGI was meant to be more realistic, but as it's progressed, it's more where you could tell that's CGI. That's CGI. Like, it's gone backwards almost.
The MCU does really good with CGI.
I think they just need if they're going to make a Lost Boys, let's bring back, like, the red syrup and shit, dude. When they're
corn syrup?
Yeah, like the corn syrup where they're ripping someone's neck off and it's just splurting out.
And then
like,
have Kiefer Sutherland be the main vampire now.
Yeah, or give him a cameo or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, that'd be fucking dope. And, like, there's a lot of actors that I could see, like, Lizzie might disagree, but Steve from Stranger Things would be a good vampire. Because that's the guy from...
I just see him as someone to laugh at, to be honest.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The guy from Bill and Ted was one of the vampires. And when you see him in Bill and Ted, you're like, he's just dorky fucking loser kid,
That's
you know?
true.
Like, he looks fun. He's funny, you know?
Yeah.
And then you see him in that and you're like, oh, shit, he could play like a vampire.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
You know
like
who
they
else,
could,
though? The other guy in Stranger Things, Max's older brother.
He would be
That would be
Dacker
dope.
Montgomery would
Yeah,
be a
Dacker
fucking... He would be the dope... He's,
Billy.
So, Billy, Max's... the redhead girl? Her older brother?
Oh, that's right. I can't
Dude.
picture his face, but yeah.
With his, like, mullet and
he
stuff.
looks like a vampire in that show.
Mm-hmm.
He would be a dope main bad guy in that.
Yeah, for
I see.
sure.
He would be fucking... He's built fucking freakish, too. Like, they're trying to cast him as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
No
He's,
shit.
he's one of the lead runners for Wolverine.
I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind either. Like,
Give him-
he's
give
fucking
him
cool.
that.
Now I gotta look him up.
Yeah, Dacker Montgomery. So yeah, that I don't think they could really fuck it up.
I just think they should let it rest because I love that it looks
I
so
would want it to
old.
let it rest
I love
too,
that.
but if they were like, if they renamed it to something.
You know, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I'm like gonna immediately be biased over it.
Well, if they here's how about this? What if they just like renamed it to like the Vanishers, and then at the beginning they like inspired by the Lost Boys, and it's more inspired
Sure.
rather than just being the source.
Sure.
So that way they don't fuck with the original, but they could also do some shit different.
Or if they
did that
do,
with Mulan.
or if they do like where it's still the Lost Boys, but it's a different coven.
The Found Boys.
Because you can't be like the only vampires in the world. It originated from somewhere. You know what I mean?
That would be dope too.
So like
That would
maybe
be
a
cool.
different
Yep.
city, you know, and a different group, and you could fucking open up the
Different story.
storyline from that point.
That
Yeah,
would be
you
kinda
could
dope.
even do some like OG shit, like some It shit, where it's like they're back 25 years later.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
they
guess what we
popped
could
up
say
somewhere
though with the
different.
show is that we
Awaken.
can
And then
have
they
Mhm.
get the original guys from the original cast. I don't know how many of them are still alive, but it's like like some of them like, yo, they're back. Let's go fuck these motherfuckers up, bro.
The Frog Brothers.
Yeah, get the Frog Brothers to come back. I know those guys are still alive, right?
Yeah.
One of them's all fucked up though on drugs and shit. What's his name?
Is he?
No, yeah, he looks fucked up, dude. He's like all skinny and frail and shit. You're like, damn, like what happened? To that
I think you're thinking of the one that already died. That
no,
was the
he's
younger
still-
brother.
No. He's still alive. He's one of the Frog Brothers.
Oh,
What the fuck's his
Corey
name?
Feldman.
Yeah. Yep. Him.
Yeah,
He's all fucked up now. Hold on. This is making me anxious. Keep talking.
About what?
So Lizzie Bear. Yeah,
Yeah. So
no, this bothers me too when it times out. I get all weirded out by it.
Yeah, I like to see how much time we've gone through. That's only been 30 minutes. Okay. Shit, we got a lot more room to talk about shit.
Yeah.
So, here's this. Let's include Lizzie Moore. What is one of your earliest favorite memories about Dad?
Oh, me right here? I'm gonna get all red on camera.
We'll
You
do
can't say throwing up in my mouth as a baby because you don't
I
remember
don't even
that.
remember
Yeah,
that.
something funny that you remember.
I don't want to embarrass that, so I'm not gonna say that one.
Probably farting with my back on the floor or something.
No.
I wasn't really farting. I was using my back.
Oh my god. Let me
Don't
say
say it.
this.
Don't say
It's
it.
so funny.
Don't say
it's
it.
funny
Man.
though. So Lizzie has a video on her phone of my dad getting waxed for the first time.
Oh yeah.
That
that one,
shit is
that one's
fucking funny.
Hey,
That's
I don't know
funny.
why I agreed to that shit. I thought I was like Mr. Manly Man. I could take the shit.
Dude.
That shit is excruciating pain.
The movie 40-year-old version with Steve Carell where he's screaming on his back and shit literally could draw
Hey.
comparisons. It was so fucking funny. And Lizzie still has the video.
Shout out
on
to
her phone.
all the women that get waxed, because that shit ain't no joke.
Dude.
That shit's excruciating painful.
Me-
The pain doesn't stop.
No.
It burns.
It continues to fucking hurt. And then the shitty part was, I still had wax on me that I had to get off, so I couldn't just be like, hey, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want no more. Like, I still had to get that shit off.
That was one of the funniest things because it was one of those things where I was just continuously laughing, and anytime I would get to the point where I was going to stop laughing, you did something more, and I just kept fucking laughing.
And you just keep going.
And dude, it was, Lizzie has the video on her phone.
You still have it?
Yes.
Oh
and
my
so
god.
Lizzie was showing me all, like, we were going through her phone because I said this on the other thing. One of my favorite things about Lizzie is she records like a lot of my favorite moments. One of my favorite moments with Lizzie. So like a lot of my like our fucking childhood, it was recorded.
That's awesome.
So like I was telling Lizzie, like when we have great grandkids, like they're gonna have something like that forever, and they're just gonna laugh at their fucking.
Like you guys are wild, yeah.
Dude. Like, so, like, that's one thing I love about Lizzie, and we were watching a bunch of videos, and that was one of them, and me and Lizzie were hysterically laughing just watching it. And then hearing us laugh while watching it. You're like, oh! Oh! Fuck!
Hey, I tried so hard,
you know what you said? You said, I don't want to do it anymore.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Stop!
Like,
Stop! And then Mom was like, there's still more left. We can't waste it. You're like, fuck, man!
I don't want to do it anymore.
Hey, it's
so fucking good.
Low key, I was legit fucking mad. I was legit in fucking pain.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted it to fucking stop. And I after the first one, I was like, okay, just fucking man up and just, come on, just grit down, just fuck. And then the pain was excruciating. I couldn't man up through it. Like, I was just like, hey, I'm fucking done. Yeah. That shit was awful,
that we only had like that much. That's how much we
god. That shit was awful.
That was a fucking waste because we didn't even wax you. Like there was nothing. Like there was hardly any difference. Like it was.
That's
just
the worst part.
pain.
Like
But
all
it had
that
to be your
fucking
back,
pain for
too.
nothing. For nothing, dude. I was like, get the fucking shaver. Let's shave the rest of shit off so I don't have patches. I don't want to do this no more. Awful.
All right, okay,
Never do that
let's
shit
change it. Let's change it because it's kind of hard. It's gonna take a lot of time. There's gonna be a lot of dead air. Describe me and Dad in 3 words each.
Oh shit.
I don't know. I think I could both say like hilarious for both of you. 100%.
There's one.
Oh, do I have to
Fuck
put one?
is my drink? Oh no, I was just
okay.
trying to keep track.
That's really hard. I'd rather say a better memory. I'd rather.
All right, go to the better memory then.
Every memory of me and Dad watching movies. Like, I'd be like 5 years old, we're watching Nightmare on Elm Street or something, and we're just like, like we used to cuddle on the couch and you
We put the blankets up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I try and hype you up.
Not to interrupt, I've had a love-hate relationship with horror movies.
Oh, I've always loved horror movies.
Like there was a stage at the very beginning where I fucking loved horror movies and watched it with you guys, and then there was a big period where I was just a fucking bitch and didn't watch any of it with you guys. And then I came back and I was like, I'm like on and off with horror movies.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Favorite memory with you though? You did this a lot too. Whenever we'd be like fighting or something, and you'd like hurt me, and I'd want to tell Mom.
Oh
Dad,
my
like,
god!
"Oh,
Talk
so
about not
long."
wanting to embarrass Dad.
That's the source.
So,
What do you do?
I want to hear off air.
No, I want to know. I want to know. What do you do?
Just say it on podcast.
No, I'm gonna say that one, not what Dad did. I'm gonna say what you did.
Oh no, what I did, yeah. So I'll just say it. So when Lizzie would get mad, I was so afraid of my parents that like
We just didn't want to get in trouble. They didn't do nothing.
Dude, I was so afraid of my. Well, no, they would have me fucking eyeing the corner of the wall, trying to fucking look at fragments and make shapes on the wall and shit.
For like 2 minutes.
Dude, literally, it felt like 15. Longest 2 minutes of my fucking life every single time. Look at the wall. 10 minutes, look at the wall. Go into the corner of the room. You're on timeout. And I would just sit there looking at the wall.
For good reason. You'd like drag me by the hair or something.
Hell no. Don't try to throw me under the bus.
You did something dumb.
No, so what I would do, I would like, I forget, I would like yell at Lizzie or I would like hurt her feelings and she would start crying.
No,
and
you'd like
always
hit me. Xander.
Now everybody's gonna think I'm a fucking abuser.
No, like you get a pillow.
That
I
I'm
was
throwing
always really
haymakers
small.
at my fucking sister.
I was always really small, and you'd get like one of our huge couch pillows and go right.
All right, let's clear this up. It was like when I was 3 years old. Okay, this is common with siblings.
We were little.
All right,
3, then that means she's a year and a half. She's barely walking, dude.
All right, when I was 5. So anytime Lizzie would like start crying, I would like. It would be like, I would have like a mental clock where I'd be like, oh, parents are coming home soon. Like they've been gone like to the store for long enough, or like my dad's done talking
Someone's
to like the
taking a nap.
neighbors, or one of the naps is gonna end.
Right.
And Lizzie's crying. And so what I would do is Pretty much, I originated TikTok dances.
For real.
Let's be
100%.
honest.
He made that.
I made TikTok dances because anytime Lizzie would cry, I'd be so afraid that she would snitch on me that I would fucking
He'd try to make me
hit
laugh.
the fucking whoa. Just fucking
Yeah.
cleaning the fucking
Look,
windows.
look, Lizzie, look.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would always say, look, Lizzie, look. And then she got to a point where she started catching on. And
Yeah.
you became a cynical fucker because she started catching on. And then she would learn how to cry.
Oh, I still know.
She learned how to cry so that she could fake cry just to fucking embarrass me to get me to dance like a fucking idiot.
Exactly.
And I knew she
I
started
still do
doing
it.
it because she would be like, I'm like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But you're still dancing.
Yeah. You're doing it on purpose.
And then I would stop dancing. I'm like, hey, see, you're not even sad. And then she'd start crying again. I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Lizzie was a jerk for that.
I did a lot of mean things to you. We're not going to talk about
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. We're not going to talk about it.
Some
The
did
yeah count is at like
change.
50. What else did we? So we recorded a lot. I was always telling Lizzie though, growing up, like we probably would have been famous off of YouTube had she like edited and uploaded those videos, because
Oh,
those
God.
videos are fucking comedy.
We would have been amazing on Vine.
Oh hell yeah, we
would've
would have
owned
fucking
Vine.
killed it on Vine.
Yeah.
And dude, you could just jump on TikTok and do some shit like that. You would be popping on TikTok. We got to get our TikTok going. But what I was saying,
we say that every episode.
We say that every episode. We did start doing the little clip things though.
Yeah, that was great.
So yeah, that's really cool. We got some new viewers for that.
I have some more subscribers.
One thing
too.
we always say though, is had we been famous, we would have had the best fucking live television reality TV show.
Oh, it would have been a great
I
reality
know, so.
TV show
Dude.
for our family.
Me and Lizzie alone, Derek and Dominic alone,
Yeah.
would have made for a banger reality TV show. Like, what would we name it?
I don't know, but I know that
Keeping up with the best.
I'm kind of glad Derek's not on here because he would have probably said that time, or you. I'm surprised you didn't say when I was drunk and I was lighting my farts on fire.
What?
Oh my god,
You remember that?
remember that.
I was just
Dude.
trying. I was all fucked up, just trying to make you guys laugh. And I think Mom came up, and I'm like on my back with my legs up, and I'm just trying to fucking.
You're just completely.
I think we had just finished watching Jackass or some shit where they did that, or
Yeah.
something. Dude, I remember that smell, dude, was fucking horrible,
Xander.
dude. the feeling
The
of
flame
burnt
eats
fart.
it up, dude.
Dude,
It
like
fucking
the burnt
evaporates it. What are you
fart,
talking
dude.
about?
Dude, it was horrible.
What are you talking
fucking
about? The flame
horrible.
eats it up. There is no smell,
Okay,
ladies and
okay,
Apparently,
gentlemen.
Xander ate it up.
So, what's your top 3 TV shows of all time?
Oh shit!
I could name Lizzie's
Go for it. I'll see how.
in no particular order.
Okay, go ahead.
The Walking Dead.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
Walking
that's
Dead
like
for sure.
garbage. I don't know why I love
It's
it.
garbage now.
Garbage now.
Shit was fucking amazing for like
I've
6
watched
seasons.
it over 15
Yeah.
times.
We would,
First
we would
6 seasons.
remember we would decorate the living room for every episode and shit.
Dude, The Walking Dead about zombies, that show needs to just fucking die already.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So-
Where me and Dad left off, I have no idea what's happening next, but where we left off, they were talking.
Shit was
We
getting
don't know
crazy.
what happened after that, but all we know
Yeah.
is that they were talking.
Yeah,
Something with the comics though. At least it was comic book related.
yeah, so I don't know, dude. The Walking Dead's one of them.
There's a couple you don't know though.
What is ones that I know for sure that you fucking love though?
The Appa and last.
Oh,
Air-
Avatar: The Last Airbender, is that
Yeah.
one of them?
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard though because then there's like cartoon favorites and there's favorite of all time. I think
Okay,
that one
I
would
could
still
go- I
be
could
my
go through
favorite of
both.
all time.
I think we
I
should go
love
name a
that.
few. I think those two are like legit. That's what I would have named.
Yeah, The Walking Dead, Avatar: The Last Airbender,
I'm
Hunter
not
x Hunter.
too big on there. Hunter x Hunter's all right. It's my favorite anime, I think, but that's it. There's this
The 100s.
the 100 is one of my favorite.
That's the top 3?
Xander.
I
Game,
should have known that.
Game of Thrones. No.
I love Game of Thrones. I didn't like the last season. That's what kind of ruins it. Like I can't
Yeah,
say
that-
I like Game of Thrones, but I don't like every season. I feel.
It goes to
Yeah,
show
sure.
how significant the ending is compared to everything else.
Yeah.
Because I
was so
didn't
bad.
think there could be anything that could fuck that show up, and then that last season somehow, some
They
way
rushed
ruined
it.
it.
Well,
They
you
just
could tell
rushed
they
it.
rushed it. They left Starbucks cups. There was a truck in the background. There's water bottles everywhere. Like they didn't
Oh my
try.
God, I forgot
And
about the
that's when they
Starbucks
changed
cup.
the directors and writers, right? The
I think
original
so.
dude was like, bye. Like the guy that made like most of it. The last season was up to some other people that were helping or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It was rushed like a motherfucker, though.
Yeah, I forgot about the Starbucks
I'm looking
Cup.
forward to
That shit was
the
embarrassing.
prequel shows.
Oh, yeah, they're doing the shit with Arya, that one. Or, like,
Yeah.
not even a prequel, like the sequel.
They're
where
doing
it's
like an
Arya
origin
going
with
to, like, that island.
They're doing an origin one, though, a prequel for,
Daenerys.
the Targaryens.
Oh, like her,
Targaryen.
their
Red
family.
Dragons or some shit like that.
Yeah, they're all blonde and
got
crap.
you, got you. That's kind of dope.
Yeah.
So it is the 10th episode. Lizzie doesn't watch, so she's gonna have to sit this one out. What is our favorite moments from the first 10 episodes? Do you think?
Oh, God.
I think
the
some
first
of our,
one, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was our first taste. I think
Even the one we never posted.
that one was pretty
You
good.
guys have one you never posted?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an.
Where I fucked up the mic. I wasn't holding it close to my mouth.
It's. I'm glad that one wasn't the original though,
Yeah.
because that shit was weak compared to the actual.
Yeah,
first episode.
it was more of like a draft.
Test run.
Yeah, it was a test run. Our
pilot.
vibes were like super solemn and, you know.
Well,
I like
we were
Trevor
hype at
Lawrence,
first.
and-
Until our draft came in, and then it was just fucking downhill.
Yeah,
Is this
well,
the one where you're in the loft?
yeah.
Yeah,
and
you
our
guys were all
vibes-
like, well...
You know, Trevor Lawrence. I think I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. I think he's gonna be a
Sunshine.
good football player. And then now we're just like, man, fucking Trevor Lawrence looks like Sunshine, stupid ass, fucking dog meat shitter. Like shit like that. But like, I liked the first episode. I think my favorite episode by far was the alien one.
Yeah,
I
hey,
heard a lot about
and
that.
that's the
Supernatural
fucking.
thing.
I'm pretty sure that's the one. Some motherfucker out there, whoever's listening, put a thumbs down on, and I'm pretty fucking
that
pissed
guy.
about it. So
F you.
if you're so fucking mad about it, why don't you leave a comment and explain why you put a thumbs down?
No, I think that was a different
Motherfucker.
episode.
Oh,
Because
whatever
I
one
think,
it was.
I think in a different
Same shit,
no,
pissed
'cause
me off.
I think in a different episode we started talking about Trump and shit. We got a little political. Guarantee
I
you,
can
it's a
see-
fucking Trump supporter. Guaranteed.
Go kiss your sister.
Yeah, isn't Trump done?
I don't know.
Like, can't he like never come back?
No, he could run again.
He could run again? I thought
Yeah.
after the second impeachment, like he was fucking shocked.
I think he got away with that shit or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's having like a rally, or he already did have one or something like that with all of this.
Well, hey, in your last one, you talked about the bucket list, and I was telling you earlier, and you were like telling me to save it because you said, normal people put in their bucket list, fucking jumping out playing. I ain't a fucking psycho, and
Emily, please. Go.
so when he said that, I immediately thought like, oh, I guess I'm a
I wanna jump out of a
psycho.
plane so
'cause I
bad.
want to jump out of. That's one of my bucket lists.
That's one of
But
my
like I
top.
explained it to him different on why it's one of my bucket lists. So I am like deadly afraid of heights. So to jump out of a plane, it's like my bucket list is to conquer fear,
Same.
not just to jump out of a plane. And that's my bucket list. My bucket list is actually conquer
Exactly.
a deep rooted fear,
Mhm.
to conquer it and say fuck you, I did that shit. No matter how scared I am. Yeah.
And my response
Even
was
though-
gonna be, yeah, that makes sense. I'm a pussy though.
Even
I
though,
wanted to
like,
say
even
that.
though when I get to the ground, they're gonna be like, "This fucking guy shit his pants,"
yeah.
I wanted to
I'm a
say
pussy, and that's why like my bucket list would only be shit that I want to do.
I want to do bungee
Because when
jumping,
it when it hits your bucket list, it's almost like at some point you gotta do it.
At some point, I want to jump out of a
Like if
fucking
it's on
plane.
your bucket list,
Me
like
too.
at some point you gotta do it, and that's why I try to keep mine plausible. So like audition, like anybody could audition for something.
One of my other ones, and you kind of brought it up, is you were saying about going to a Raider game at Allegiant Stadium. I can never say the fucking Allegiant Stadium. But for me, I would not only want to be a season ticket holder, but I want to travel with the team. I want to go to all 17 games now.
That'd be fucking cool.
And fucking come to the home ones, and then when they fly out, get a hotel. If we're going to fucking Denver, we fly in Denver, go to the Denver game, like hit every fucking game for the whole season. Every game.
That's
Like
nice.
that's a fucking bucket
Yeah,
list
that'd
for me,
have to
dude.
be some
That's
shit you do when you're retired though, because that's every week.
Yeah, for like,
So
what is it, like
that would be
a couple
dope.
months?
That would be dope.
Hell yeah, dude. Hit the lotto.
Fuck yeah, that'd
Imagine
be
that.
dope.
Like, hey, that's our vacation. We're traveling with the Raiders.
Yep.
Every week.
That'd
And
be
then
dope.
we just leave right after the game or the next morning, and then we have that whole week to explore whatever city we're in. If
Yeah.
we're in fucking Tampa Bay to play the Bucks, we could see fucking Florida. We could go to fucking Disney World a few days and then make sure we're ready for the game and then fly out for the next destination. Like,
That'd
that's
be dope.
fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I was gonna say something, but yeah, knowing our luck though, that would be the season where we went 0-17.
0-17, yeah.
For real.
Yeah, for
Be
sure. That'd be
pissed
the
off.
season where we lost every fucking game.
And then I would never go to a game again because I would take that shit as superstitious, and I'd be like, it's because I was there.
Yeah.
Because I was fucking there. That's what happened.
Yeah. We didn't fucking knock on the doors before we walked in, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. But yeah, so I like the supernatural themed episode. That one was fun as fuck.
Yeah.
I was telling my dad we got to come prepared more because that one was a very high prepped one where we like spent a week thinking about only like that subject.
Yeah.
And then we came in super prepared, and that episode was fucking lit.
Yeah.
That one was fun. And like if we had episodes like if every episode was like that, we'd be fucking popping.
And we're not talking about like a fucking script or like everything's written down and we stay in order. It's just like we were just more well planned on things we wanted to talk about, and then we just talked about them. We didn't have like a fucking full on.
I guess the best way to put it is we had the stencil and then we colored it in during the podcast.
Yeah.
But like even the stencil wasn't very colored in.
Yeah.
Or like very like drawn in.
Yeah, we went all over the fucking place here and there.
Yeah.
It was just a good topic.
Yeah. So, how about top 3 favorite shows right now that are still going, aren't canceled?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the 100 stopped. That one though, we're still watching it. We're on the last season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the most recent season, 2020. That one. What else? Cobra Kai.
Cobra
Oh,
Kai.
yeah.
That's the right
Oh
now
my
one.
we gotta talk about Cobra Kai.
We
We're gonna
should
talk
talk
about Cobra Kai.
And I think not to
Cobra Kai.
think about your third one while I say this, and that's another one where it was perfectly put together on bringing something back, like we were talking about the Lost Boys. If you could do something like that and bring back old characters
Perfect.
and still keep that essence, oh man,
Yep.
that was where if it's something like that, then I would be so all for the Lost Boys show.
Continue.
For sure.
We're gonna talk more about Cobra Kai after she says her third one.
I don't know.
You said that fast. Said the third one.
After the third one.
That was the fucking
third
fastest
one?
thing I ever heard.
Well, I talk really fast.
Yeah, so do I.
Uh,
So do I. Like,
I don't know. I like this Korean show that me and Mom watched. I don't know if it's over though. It's okay to not be
the what is it, like not the samurai one.
No, that
The,
one's 100 Days My Prince. We don't. Both of those
okay.
though are tied for.
What's the new one?
The other one? I got her like a little like toy from it. For
oh
Mother's Day.
yeah, I seen that.
It's called "It's Okay to Not Be Okay." It's actually kind of fire.
Is that the one with the kid? Like one of them has like a brother who's like autistic or something.
So
That one's a good one, yeah.
it's
It
like
looked
it's like oh, it's heartfelt and things like that. It ends up like a crazy murder mystery. Like it's really cool. It's like a thriller. You get scared.
Are you guys watching that shit on my Netflix account?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, guys,
And we also watched our other.
watch it on
Korean
your
shows.
Netflix
Your own
yeah.
account,
Yeah,
yeah.
because now I go on there, I'm like everything's like
Okay, well-
Asian shit. I'm like, what the fuck's
Well,
going
Mom
on, dude?
also watches other stuff by herself because they're really good. Some of the like Korean writers
All my
out there
horse
are
shit's not
amazing.
populating anymore. Populapping.
Yeah, so let me make a statement very quickly before we continue. It's so easy to jump on the hating like Korean themed like bandwagon because it's so popular right now with K-pop music. And,
Well, there's something different with K-pop music as to why you would hate it.
and then they're like the Korean shows. But no, when you think of anything Korean now because of the K-pop music, you kind of just like want to jump on the bandwagon and be like, it fucking blows. But it's like, dude, but it's like
It's so good.
one, there's some K-pop bands that are they produce some heat. And you gotta tip your hat to them. They have fucking songs. They're from Korea. Let's think about the location. They're from fucking Korea. They have songs where they're like going back and forth between speaking Korean and English. That's
And
fucking,
rapping.
if you think about that, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, anybody that knows more than one language is fucking a smart motherfucker.
Another thing
And
to
to be
think
able to
about
write
though,
a song going back and forth between the two languages though is even nuts.
Well,
Even
see,
crazier.
like I am not a K-pop fan at all. I do not
Yeah.
like K-pop. But the way I explained it
That's
to
fine.
Lizzie and Unique is, I also don't like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. It doesn't
no,
mean that
it's-
they were not producing bangers
exactly.
that are fucking
It's just a matter
famous
of
as
not
fuck.
liking
It's
it
just
or
not my cup of tea, and that's okay.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
You know, they're still fucking popular as fuck. It's just not my thing. That's
Yeah.
all it is. Like, it has nothing to do with because it's fucking.
So yeah, what I was gonna say is like it's easy to jump on the bandwagon of like fuck K-pop, it fucking blows, shit like that, right? But like K-pop music, I can understand. But like, if you are somebody who like enjoys anime or anything, you need to watch those fucking like live action like Korean shows
Some of them
because
are
some of
fire.
them are fucking fire, dude.
Yeah.
Like they make some good shit out there. Like if you have the time to read and just sit down and watch something, like they make some fucking heat. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was watching like snippets of like episodes of like 100 Days My Prince or whatever the fuck. And then that one other
The
show, It's
battle
Okay to Not Be
scenes and
Okay.
stuff, yeah.
I was watching snippets of a lot of both of those, and I was like, damn, these are fucking kind of good.
Yeah.
What's cool about the 100 Days My Prince though is that he's like the main guy is actually a singer from our favorite band too. So it's like get best of both worlds. With
It's
it.
also crazy too. Lizzie and Unique were telling me, you could talk more about this. Those guys in Korea, like some of them get sent to like the army.
So they have to do time. Like they have to go and enlist and then do training, right? And so like, half of the group that I like, they're all in the military right now. So like whoever's like done with their time or hasn't gone yet, they're making their own music.
Dude, that'd be like, all right, see you, Dad. I'm about
for
to go.
2 years.
About to go train with
years.
the army for 2 years.
I think it's like a little bit more lenient too, because like sometimes they're like, oh, like posting on something, and some of them have families. I think they could see every now and then. It's just not very like.
They don't have a say in that, do they?
No, they have to go. They
like
have to
imagine that you have to fucking go, dude.
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
You know,
That's
like
crazy.
even if you aren't a violent person or like you have to fucking go.
Mm-hmm. Another thing to think about
nuts,
though
dude.
with K-pop is you have to think about the fans that are all absolutely insane. For
Yeah.
a while, I did not like K-pop because I didn't want to be associated with the fans. They wish death upon other people. Like it's bad. They're all racist. They're all homophobic. If they see one of their idols dating someone, they'll start trying to kill that person. Like it's weird.
Dude, here's one thing with the K-pop groups. They gotta get their fucking or like the K-pop fan bases.
Terrible.
Specifically the Americans that are into K-pop groups. Get your shit together. Get your own style. We grew up on Tupac. You don't see me fucking wearing like 18 chains, like with fucking like whatever. Like, dude, I have my own dressing style. I dress the way I dress.
Yeah,
you have these fucking K-pop fans who are like trying to dress like they're from Korea. It's like, dude, what's wrong with you?
What do you call them?
Korea boos. When they're Americans or like people that aren't Korean are trying to be Korean. And at that point, it's racist. Like
it's like cool. You enjoy their culture, whatever. But if you're not in Korea, dress like a fucking like. Dude, like, people have their own cultures. People dress...
Did you ever hear about the thing? There's actually a thing where there's, like, the Mexican Chicano gang member, the ones that always wear the fucking buttons up to the very top, and that there's people in Asia that, like, love that style and dress like that there.
Well, there's a lot of cultural appropriation on both sides. There's, like, right now, actually, like, maybe like a week ago, there's, like, this whole, like, group where they're doing, like, really bad cultural appropriation hairstyles and like pretending they're black type of thing. Like it's weird.
It's like you don't like it's. You're gonna bring up Joe Kelly in this scenario, but it's like you think of like a white person that's super white, dressing up in like a sombrero and like dressing up like some dude from Mexico. You're just like, dude, chill out.
Like trying to make it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if it's like, if it's like a holiday for like Mexico or something or whatever, okay. But it's like, if it's the reasoning too, like these people are dressing up like Koreans because they're fucking obsessed with like the music. It's like, dude, I listen to rap. You don't see me like fucking
there's
wearing grills and
appreciation
shit.
and then there's appropriation. You're allowed to appreciate, that's fine. But like as soon as you start making it to where it's mockery, that's when it's like, hey, that's my life that you're making fun of at this point.
It's kind of like that, the music video to Go Loco by YG. He's wearing a full-on mariachi outfit, but it's all red while he's rapping.
Yeah.
Right?
See, like,
is that what you're saying?
What is the context with that, though?
Because it's like he's singing it, but he's kind of doing a little bit in Spanish. He's saying Go Loco, but he's wearing a mariachi outfit, all red.
Well, I mean...
So for like one lyric, he's like dressed up for it?
He's wearing it to the whole music video.
It's like, I guess that's kind of cool, but it's like...
Well, here to give
I guess the comparison is like these people, like these American fans are like dressing up like Koreans every day.
Well, I mean, they're going as far as trying to like have Asian eyes.
Like the whole lifestyle.
It's like bad.
Not just in one thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because like with Joe Kelly, what he did was cool. He was like, "Hey, I like your coat. We want to trade? I'll give you my jersey." And then he goes and wears it to the White House, and like for that guy, like that's fucking cool.
He looks like the Tapatio guy.
Yeah, right. Like that's
an
fucking
outfit.
cool. I don't know if
Like,
Joe
no
Kelly's white or what his heritage is, so I can't really.
Well, regardless,
draw the
it's like
but
he's
that's kind
not
of cool.
doing it to like it's just like he's like, hey, look, I brought your jacket to the White House.
Yeah, see, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
And then like with the YG thing, I could even argue like for the context of the song and like for one music video, I guess that's kind of cool, right? It's like a bloodied up mariachi. Like that's kind of cool. It's kind of.
Yeah, I guess you're saying more like the whole lifestyle of like.
Yeah, like they.
There's a certain extent with.
They go like an extreme mile with that shit. Where it's like, what the fuck?
Like I think how Lizzie was saying how they try to like change their eyes even,
Yeah, it's like, dude, you're
Terrible.
an American.
Like, there's, like, Asian people that are getting killed just because of the way their eyes look. Like, and you're trying to do that? Like, come on.
And then wearing, like the... I don't know. It's just, like, they try to dress like people from Korea, and it's like, all right, that's cool. You want to mess around with your style a little bit, but, like, you're getting a little fucking nuts with it now.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, there's that. So, yeah, back to the top 3 TV shows thing. Yeah, see, this is the tangents we go on.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time.
We haven't even got back in Cobra Kai yet.
Will be up in the middle of the night.
Favorite TV shows right now, you said Cobra Kai, The 100.
That are actually going, yeah.
And then right now, what's the third one?
I don't know. I don't really have anything that I'm watching.
Well, she was saying one of those ones with Mom. One of those.
Yeah, but
that's how we
they
got into
aren't.
the whole
There's nothing confirmed that's continuing them. So, like, I guess there's nothing else.
Peaky Blinders.
I love Peaky Blinders. I still need to catch up. Peaky Blinders is so dope. You should watch that one.
Yeah, I need to watch
so
a lot.
Good. Hold on,
I wish
really
Vikings
quick.
was still going.
You know how you said the John Cena thing with Fast and Furious? Gotta give him props for choosing Michael from Peaky Blinders as a younger one. That was pretty good. Younger John Cena.
Oh, yeah.
That casting was kind of good. Not John Cena, but to make it work, I think that was good.
Yeah, the jawline.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys
too,
that
I
played in
think.
Peaky Blinders played like John Cena when he was younger, and they
It
do
worked.
a flashback. And
I
I kind of
John
felt bad
Cena
for him,
kinda.
but yeah,
Yeah.
you could kind of.
I guess that's kind of cool.
It was.
it
It worked.
My top 3 shows right now: Mandalorian,
Oh,
Loki, and
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about those.
and probably Cobra Kai. So let's talk about
Loki's
Cobra Kai.
Barry? No Barry?
Ooh,
Fucking
no,
Barry.
draw Cobra Kai out and pull Barry in. I fucking forgot about Barry.
I didn't
Barry's
finish that one still.
Barry is
I
a
can't wait for
game-changing show.
Can't wait for the new season.
I can't wait. Dude, Barry is
I'm
a
on to it, I think.
game-changing show. The concept and the idea, the acting.
Yeah.
That's a show that I'm surprised not everybody on this planet is talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
very underrated.
and people are gonna be like, "Oh, so it's that fucking good, but you forgot about it." It's been a while. It's been like a year and a half since they come out.
COVID
season
fucked
because
that
of
up.
COVID. Yeah, COVID fucked it all up. But that show is fucking amazing, dude. Bill Hader is the fucking goat. That's my comedy hero. Like, fucking Bill Hader is the man
I love
in that
Bill
shit.
Hader.
Like, fucking love Bill Hader. If I had a Bill Hader, like, signed fucking thing, like, I'd be mad, like, if you slammed the door hard.
Yeah,
You know,
for real.
I'd be like, dude, if you would have slammed the door a little bit harder, it would have dropped my fucking signed Bill Hader poster. Like, dude, Bill Hader's the fucking goat. And that show is amazing. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me. Let's talk about Cobra Kai, though. Spoilers.
Nobody wants to get my top 3?
Oh, yeah, no, let's get your top 3. I forgot about that.
I only have one, though. That's still going right now is Animal Kingdom. It's the only one I know of that's still going.
I've seen snippets of that, and I'm like, oh, shoot, that guy, wow.
Yeah, and that one's still going. I just started Power, and I heard that's great. I don't know if it's still going, though.
The Boys. Do you like The Boys?
The Boys. Oh, it was all right. It was something to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like, yeah.
Yeah, that's how that's how I felt with, no, that's not how I felt with Invincible, because Invincible's fucking cool.
I gotta
You
still
still
rewatch
gotta watch
it again,
Invincible, dude.
Well,
Invincible's
we get
fucking
on our talking tangents, and it fucking happens. Like I was
Yeah.
trying to watch it, and we just got into a full conversation. Before you knew it, like 2 episodes went by, and I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah.
And we were still talking.
Yeah, Invincible's fucking dope.
But yeah, I can't name the other 2, so go ahead. I just wanted to fucking feel special for a
Well,
second.
no, you could. Well, I mean, Animal Kingdom. You liked Cobra Kai. You said you
Cobra
need to watch
Kai.
that.
Yeah, Barry.
Barry. You know.
Yeah.
By the way, when are they coming out with fucking Mandalorian?
Yeah, because they.
October.
Oh, it's October.
this year? Oh my god, that's.
Because I remember last year, I'm like, I have to wait a whole year. It's already almost October.
Dude,
And
that's
they're-
crazy to think about.
But we didn't know if they're gonna go off the whole Boba Fett thing, though.
I think it's a
No,
different story.
Boba Fett's
That's a
getting his own
different
TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Mandalorian, we don't know what's gonna happen with Mando yet, because they considered the first couple of seasons the Grogu arc.
Yeah.
So now they're gonna go into a different part of his story.
More about Mando rather than anyone else.
Yeah, well, we'll see where his adventure continues. So like, they did the Grogu thing, and then after that, I don't know. Luke Skywalker takes Grogu. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen The Mandalorian, you're fucking nuts.
I love.
So I'm sorry.
That's
yeah.
your fault.
That's your fault.
Yeah.
You're fucking psycho if you haven't seen that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious what they're gonna do with Mandalorian 3. Speaking of Pedro Pascal,
Oh my
that's
gosh,
awesome.
we were talking about this last night.
so me and Lizzie were talking about this the other night, and I want to retouch on all of these
we should
subjects
just
with
say it
Dad.
all over again.
Yeah, let's say it all over again with Dad.
It was a good conversation.
Listen, this is the 10th episode. I don't care if we go for 3 hours. Honestly, I don't. If we go for 2.5 hours, that'd be the perfect 10th episode. Because you know that's what Bobby Lee's 300. Like for milestones, we
2.5.
gotta go as far as we can. That's what I say.
Pedro
Me and Lizzie
Pascal.
were talking. We went on a bunch of different topics, so we're gonna go through it all.
It was a 3 hour
So-
conversation though.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is one of, if
Chef's
not my
kiss.
favorite actor in the world right now.
Chef's kiss.
Fucking amazing actor. One, he's an amazing actor. There's not been one movie where I'm like, oh, okay, that's lackluster. Like,
Amazing
he was
person.
fucking cool in everything he's been.
Yeah.
And, like, one thing we always talk about, the three of us have all talked about, is it's cool to act yourself in every single movie. John Cena plays himself in every movie. Ryan Reynolds plays himself in every movie. Kevin Hart plays himself in every movie. Which, Kevin Hart came out with a new movie I heard he was really good in, and, like, actually
A little bit different.
I heard he took his acting to the limits in that movie, so I'm going to watch that. I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to Kevin Hart, not that he needs it.
Or that you're gonna see it.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Kevin. I mean, I fucking love you, dude, but I'm probably going to blur that out for the sake of, I don't want to give you a free shout out on our podcast, because you're, we're such a big show. Yeah, right.
Come be a guest, dude.
First, dude. Pedro Pascal is an actor that me and Lizzie like to say has range.
Oh, yeah.
That man could act anything. He's been in multiple different roles, could play, like he isn't the same guy in every movie.
No.
And he's going to be... So I don't think I've told Dad about the Troy Baker stuff. So I'm gonna touch on that. So yeah. I touched on the two posters I have in the back. This is me speaking too fast. I just don't get words out properly. So I have two posters that I talked about in the last episode. It's my prized possessions. It's Troy Baker. It's a signed Troy Baker poster and a signed Nolan North poster.
Amazing guys.
Amazing guys. Amazing fucking people.
You can have a whole podcast episode just about them.
Just talking about them. Like, I genuinely can. And I might even fucking around and do that.
It's interesting stuff.
They're like, I'm obsessed with those guys. I fucking love those guys. But Pedro Pascal, he's gonna play one of my favorite characters in one of my favorite games of all time, The Last of Us. He's gonna be in the TV show, the live action adaptation. He's playing Joel. And don't get it mistaken for the sequel. When I say The Last of Us, I'm not talking about the franchise. I'm pretending like only the first one came out, because that fucking sequel was dog shit. Yeah, we talked about that in a previous episode. Fucking horrible game. I'm sorry. It was fucking trash. And I will, if anybody who says that it's good, I will fucking get you to guest star on this podcast just so I can make you look like a fucking moron for why it was horribly written. Like, that game fucking blows dick.
It's bad.
That game sucks.
It should be demonetized.
Dude, trash. So, anyways, I fucking love Pedro Pascal. Like, he's kind of like Troy Baker and Nolan North. He's getting to that stage where I just not only respect him and love him as an actor, but as a human being, that man is fucking cool. Like, I was hearing his backstory of where he grew up. Apparently, his parents, when they had him, they were, like, trying to flee the country in, I forget where, like, Puerto Rico or some shit. And, like, his dad was, like, a medic or something. I'm not going to butcher that story, but his fucking backstory with his parents of how they moved to the States is fucking nuts. And, like, he's going to play Joel. And I remember hearing that news, and I remember you were the one who tagged me in it. You were the first person I heard it from, because I had just woken up, and you tagged me, and I opened it, I was like, no fucking way! I remember having mixed emotions about it. And I never liked the role, and I never hated it until I heard Troy Baker talk about it. So when Pedro Pascal got casted as Joel from The Last of Us, for those who don't know, the guy who played Joel in The Last of Us in the game is Troy Baker. He voice acted him, he played him, did the mocap, amazing fucking actor. And I remember...
I think you told me this story.
I think I did. I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. I just fucking love this story. And when they got announced, I remember Troy tweeted about it and was like, I'm looking forward to learning about this character from Pedro Pascal. Yeah. And I remember reading that being like, huh. Like, his choice in wording there was pretty interesting to me.
Yeah.
And then he made a little mini podcast episode, like a 40-minute thing where he talked about the role, talked about it. And he was saying he remembers when he heard that Neil Druckmann and whoever, Craig Mazin, I think his name was, or something, when he heard that they were going to make a TV show about it, he remembers that, I think this is how the story went, he remembers that Neil came up to him and was like, hey, like, what do you think we should cast? And Troy was like, Troy was like, if they come from me, the only way I'm taking this role, the only way I'm playing Joel in the live action is if they say, hey, we want you to play Joel in the live action. Not, hey, come audition for it. We really want you to come play it. Like, he said if they asked him to play it, he would, but he wouldn't audition for it. But he remembers thinking about, like, who would I cast? If I had to think, who would I cast as Joel? And he goes, and trust me, for the people who haven't played the game, don't know what I'm talking about, it's still an interesting story regardless. You don't have to know anything about it. It gives you perspective on everything. Lizzie hasn't played The Last of Us. My dad hasn't played The Last of Us.
I played the beginning like 10 times.
Yeah, they've both played the beginning. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, you're on par with them. It's still an interesting story regardless. So don't skip ahead, because I think it's really fucking cool. So he goes, I remember thinking about it, like, who am I going to, like, if I had to choose who was going to play the character that I created, who would I pick? And he goes, there's, the guy who played the Kingslayer in Game of Thrones, his name's like Nikolai something. He could play a good Joel. He looks the part. Maybe I'd go him. If I had a choice, my number one answer would be Josh Brolin, because I created Joel's voice off of Josh Brolin's. And if you play the game and you think about, so Josh Brolin, for people who don't know who Josh Brolin is, he's in the Goonies. He also plays Thanos. Mm-hmm.
Cable. Right?
Cable. He plays Cable in Deadpool. Josh Brolin's an amazing actor as well. He's like, I'd probably go Josh Brolin. He looks like Joel, and I specifically crafted Joel's voice after Josh Brolin's. And if you play the game and you hear Joel's voice, he sounds like Josh Brolin. Wow. It's literally Troy Baker's impression of Josh Brolin. So he's like, that's probably my number one answer. And he goes, and then I was thinking, and then when I heard the news that it was Pedro Pascal, I remember being like, wow, the only people I ever thought to play Joel were white guys. I never thought about who could play Joel outside of that. And I remember watching a podcast with Nolan and Troy. They're like best friends in real life, so they were on a podcast together. And the reason why I like talking about this story is because for people who love movies, hearing this gave me perspective on casting. So they were talking about how when they go to audition for games or movies or shows, they come in, they get the script, they get what they need for the audition, right? They memorize their lines. And they said that one thing that they learned was the most successful that helped them was going into the audition and not trying to play that character or try to be what they described, but being that character. Going in there and not just trying to be the character, but showing them, the writers, the people that are going to cast you, showing them what the character looks like. And he goes, and they both said, like, Nolan and Troy both said, they're like, pretty much they were like, it's not always you. If you go in an audition and you don't get the role, sometimes it's the fact that you're 5'4", or sometimes it's the fact that your eyes are brown. Sometimes they just want this character to be someone who has blue eyes. And that might be the only reason that you didn't get the role. But so when they said that, they're like, so go into the audition not being like, oh my god, I hope I don't suck, but being like, I'm going to be this character and I'm going to show you what the character looks like. You either agree with me or you disagree with me. Yeah. And I remember hearing that and being like, wow. So they were like, yeah, so just go in there and be like, this is what the character looks like. Let me read my lines. Thank you very much for your time. And then leave. But this is what the character looks like to me. And they'll either cast you because they agree with your vision or they won't. But that has nothing to do with how good you were. They either agree with your vision of what the character looked like or not. And so to draw those two stories together, Troy was like, yeah, I was always thinking about these white actors. What is a white guy who could play a white character? And he was like, it's at the end of the day, pretty much he said, like, at the end of the day, this character is words on a paper. At the very end of the day, it's words on a paper. The fucking script doesn't say white guy who's tall, white guy who's 6'4" with a scruffy beard. It's literally, this is who the character is as a person. Here are his lines, and that's it. So he goes, Pedro Pascal's fucking perfect. We know how fucking good Pedro Pascal is as an actor. He looks like a Spanish Joel. So I mean, it's not like he's far off. He looks like a Spanish version of Joel. So I want Pedro Pascal to show me what Joel looks like to him. And I remember hearing that being like, that's fucking dope. And he's like, I'm going to learn shit about Joel that only Pedro Pascal could teach me. Because Pedro Pascal is going to play a different character. He's going to play the same character, but in his vision. He's going to teach me something about a character that I technically crafted that I didn't know about. And I remember hearing that being like, fucking dope. I remember hearing that being like, now I'm like, I was excited about Pedro. I wasn't mad about it, but I was like definitely on edge about it. But after hearing that, I was like, give me this fucking show now. I want to watch this shit now. Because when you get that perspective, it changes your aspect on like the way things are casted. Like sometimes it's granted. Sometimes it's like okay to criticize casting where it's like, what the fuck, You know, John Cena, like, for example. Like, we both know John Cena got casted because it's John Cena. Not because he was a good actor or because he fit the character. But because he had a big name and his name was John. It's fucking John Cena. But sometimes, and Uncharted is a good example with the game. Sometimes it's just like, this character's a good fucking actor. He looks the part enough, and he would do something different with it. And so that's, I felt that way about Pedro Pascal, because Pedro Pascal's an amazing fucking actor. And then I felt that way about Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake or playing in Uncharted as Nathan Drake. What's up?
Sorry, I had a message.
Oh, okay. And so that's why I'm stoked for The Last of Us. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm stoked for Uncharted. Because I was looking at it in perspective, like, it has to be fucking, like, spot on, you know? But now I'm, like, looking at it like, dude, like, now I'm going to get the same story, but also in a different way. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to get a different experience. I loved The Last of Us 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of the greatest games ever made. Period. It's one of the greatest games ever made.
It looks great, too.
Fucking amazing game. And now I'm just going to get more content from it. And now I'm going to get a live action, I'm going to get a reimagined version of it. And I'm going to fucking enjoy that show. That show's going to be amazing. And then the same thing with Uncharted. So Tom Holland gets casted, and I remember being like, Tom Holland. I mean, I guess. I can't really see...
I can't see Peter Parker playing...
Yeah, I can't see Peter Parker playing Nathan Drake. I can't see Tom Holland anything else but Peter Parker. And then I remember when Nolan North talked about it, he was like, yeah, I visited the set. This kid still fucking hold package. This kid made, like, I was like, Nathan Drake. Which, by the way, I was telling Lizzie, one of my favorite images on the internet. It made me almost cry seeing it. It was a picture, I remember when they were promoting Uncharted, it was a picture of Nolan North and Tom Holland meeting, and it was like, the caption was like, Nate meeting Nate. Because I was like, fuck. Because it's like the live action Nathan Drake and like the guy who made Nathan Drake who he was.
Yeah.
What about
it was like the
when they were shooting Spider-Man? What they said about shooting.
So yeah, let me get into that. So I remember Nolan North being like, yeah, I went on the set, like, Tom Holland loves the character. You know, and I remember hearing that being at ease, because it's not like it's some fucking, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money from this. It's like he's an actual fan.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes it even fucking better. Like Loki, same thing with Tom Hiddleston. He's a fan of Loki. And you see how passionate he was about making the show. You hear the shit like he was like teaching the cast members what the show's going to be about and shit. And like the plots and everything. You're like, you don't see an actor doing shit like that.
Going the extra mile.
Going the extra mile for their character. Right? And Nolan North was like, Tom Holland's a fan of the show. Or the game. Like, he's a fan. And I remember hearing that and Nolan North was like, he's going to take care of Nathan Drake. We're good. To all the fans who are like worried about it, we're good. Like, he's gonna fucking kill it. And maybe it could have been like a promotion thing, like him just trying to kiss ass for like, you know, because he doesn't want to get sued or fucking whatever, right? It could have very well
He's not that type of guy, though.
I trust Nolan North in that Tom Holland's going to kill as Nathan Drake. Sully I'm worried about, because I do not see Mark Wahlberg as Sully. Not in the slightest.
Not with a bald face.
Dude, the most popular thing about Sully is his fucking mustache. And then I saw an image of the movie, and he didn't have the mustache. And everybody was saying, like, oh, maybe it's just Sully when he was younger. Dude, in the 4th installment, it shows a flashback of Nathan Drake meeting Sully. And what do you know? Sully, when he met Nathan Drake, had a fucking thick-ass mustache. It's his character. Anyways, I was telling Lizzie, not yesterday, but like way back when it happened, that when Uncharted finished shooting, Tom Holland went to go film Spider-Man. Earlier this year, he went to go film Spider-Man. And the very first scene, they call action, and then Tom Holland starts playing the role, right? And then like a few moments later, I think this is how I remember the story. A few moments later, they go, cut. What the fuck are you doing, dude? And then somebody in the back goes, he's still playing Nathan Drake. And then everybody was like, oh yeah, he's still playing Nathan Drake. Tom, cut down on the swagger, dude. You're playing Peter Parker. You're not playing Nathan Drake anymore. And I remember hearing that being like, fucking dope. If it was so noticeable that it was a scene, I remember them saying it was a scene where literally Peter Parker was walking. If they were able to identify that it was Nathan Drake by the way he was walking, that he had so much swagger that just from walking, I was like, he's gonna fucking kill him.
Well, Peter's like all like this, you know, like he's a little 15-year-old. Nathan Drake walks like
with swagger,
chest puffed, like he's
got swagger. So I remember hearing that, being like, "Oh my god, he even has the walk. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be fucking dope," you know. Yeah. So I was like excited. That made me even more excited about it.
When are they being released? These movies?
Uncharted, I think, is gonna be next year.
Both of them, no?
Yeah, both of them, I think,
Early?
are next year. Yeah, I
Uncharted
hope
first,
so.
and then Last of Us, though, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. They just started filming The Last of Us, and
Well,
I
The
saw
Last
the
of
set
Us
photo.
will be a little bit longer. I wouldn't be surprised if it were
Like
23.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's a TV show. They made a movie.
Yeah, but they're filming it. They filmed Spider-Man earlier this year, and it's coming out in December.
It's a movie, though, not a show.
Yeah,
Wait, these are shows?
Uncharted's a movie. Last of Us is a show.
They can make it into
Where
a
are they
show
going to
for
release
sure.
the show at?
HBO.
Oh, nice.
Gotta be good
The
then.
people who hosted the Game of Thrones.
Nice.
So
And a lot of other great shows.
I'm fucking stoked for the Last of Us. And they showed the first set images of them on set together.
To make a comparison, though, that I thought was a good one, you know how in Mandalorian he's playing, like, someone who's, like, reluctantly taking care of Grogu? And he's kind of like, you know, there's a little bit of a bond, there's a relationship, but he's like, come on, kid, like, whatever. It's exactly what Joel is.
Like the relationship with Joel and Ellie.
So,
I
like,
remember,
he's gonna, and his voice is deep, you know, Mandalorian's, like, the stuff, right? Joel's the exact same. So it's not gonna be too different. I feel
Yeah,
like.
Lizzie blew my mind the other day when
Just
she said
facial
that.
expression.
Because she blew my mind when she said that, because she was like, we've already gotten a sneak peek of what Pedro Pascal's gonna be like as Joel. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, the Mandalorian. Like, he pretty much plays Joel, like a
It's
space
the exact
Joel.
same thing. The only thing he has to
And I
worry
was
about
like,
is
wow.
the face.
Yep, she fucking blew my mind with that. I was like, wow, it was like a space The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, she blew my mind with that. But yeah, we saw the first set photos, and me and Lizzie were drawing the connections. So they're filming the first episode, right? And we could tell it's the first episode because at the beginning of the game,
There.
yeah, the daughter's there in the seat, but it's like a picture of them in the car together, like getting ready to film a car scene. And at the beginning of the game, it's like the world ends and they go in the car together. And I remember I remember playing the beginning part because I fucking love that game. I've played it like 4 fucking times. But I was like, I remember me and Lizzie were looking at the image like, wow, I'm so excited for that. And then I was like, wait a minute, are they wearing the clothes that they did at the beginning of the game?
Are they wearing their jammies?
I was like, are they wearing the clothes that they're wearing at the beginning of the game? She's like, they are. I was like, they're in the same car and everything. I was like, it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got
same
stoked about
color
it.
shirt. The exact same color
Yeah,
shirt. This
so
man's
I was-
wearing the same shirt.
So that set photo is like how they're actually gonna look in the game
It looks
or in the
amazing.
movie in the show, and I'm like, oh, it's fucking cool.
And it'll only get better because, like, then they fast forward, like, years later, and then Joel looks, like, a lot scruffier, and, you know, like, he lost his kid, like, he's, like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
big man
fucking
now.
it's exciting. I'm gonna let you talk, but I want to direct this towards you. You said this to me. I remember when The Last of Us and Uncharted were announced. You were the one who said this to me. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You were saying it's exciting hearing them come out with all these games because that's my era. Like, that's my shit, right? That's all the shit I know. And you were like, you're kind of experiencing what I've been experiencing with the Stephen King shit. And so, like, I'm going to be overtly critical of the Uncharted movie. I'm going to be overtly critical of The Last of Us show. And that's exactly how you were with Stephen King shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've read most of the books. You grew up watching all of the movies. Like, you were, like, overtly critical of, like, It and It 2, Pet Sematary, and all of the fucking remakes they made for, like, Stephen King shit. You
It
know?
almost ruins it though when you hype it up because
Yeah.
you'll set yourself up to be disappointed, and it could be a really great
you could be blinded by
movie or
that
show,
bias.
but you'll be blinded by the bias. The perfect way of putting it, and that's one thing I try now when I'm excited for something to go in there just open minded about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I will be like, it's not the way it was, and I'll get stuck on that, and then like a great part will
Look
pass
for
me
only the
by,
bad.
and I'll just get stuck, and then I'll miss a good movie sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair. I think as a counter to that, I feel like sometimes when you do come in with a high expectation and they actually blow your mind, like the reward
man,
after
yeah.
that is way better.
That's like euphoria right there. That's like the
Yeah.
ultimate of the ultimate.
Yeah.
Of
When you
joy
come
is
in
right
with, like,
there.
if I'm gonna come in with high expectations for both, and if The Last of Us blows my mind, it's gonna be like my favorite show ever made.
That one I have no doubts about. I'm just a little bit worried with Uncharted.
And then you're also worried though too, like let's say it hits all your expectations and more, then it's that much more harder when that show comes to an end.
Yeah.
Or if they
And you're just
cancel
like,
it, like they
God,
do most
man,
things,
why
you
can't
know?
they keep going?
Yeah.
It's an awful feeling. Where you're just like, I wish it would still keep going.
Yeah, that's true, but you know, all
It
things
happens.
come to an end.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's just that ugly feeling you're gonna feel for a while.
Yeah.
The end
I
game
can't remember.
feeling.
I can't remember the last time I experienced that.
I was like that with Vikings.
I think I don't even think I've ever been like that for a show. I think the last time I felt like that was for Endgame.
Vikings and Supernatural for me.
I feel that with every
Supernatural,
show,
I heard
even
was
though
bad.
it's not the end. Like, maybe it not be the end. Like, maybe I'll have to wait, or I don't know if it's the end. I'll feel that for everything. Avatar, though. Because, like, that one's been over for years.
Yeah,
and then, like,
Avatar's
I
a good one.
rewatch it as an older kid, and I'm just like...
The
But I
movie-
had the comics.
The
I took
movie was
comics.
great. I wish
Dude.
they'd continue on part 2.
Oh God! Don't even get us started.
So, that was M. Night, right?
Holy, and that was M. Night Shyamalan too.
Worst
I didn't realize
thing
it was M.
I've
Night.
ever seen in my entire life.
The worst fucking movie ever.
How are you gonna? So this all Asian. They're all Asian kids. You bring a bunch of white kids in there, and they're just like, oh, like oh, fire.
Yeah, dude. I remember it's one of the easiest shows, the easiest movies to make fun of.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I remember there was this scene with the Earthbenders,
It's so
and like in the show, like they'll be like, ha, 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 and like they're like a fucking Earth
Building,
tornado at somebody,
like-
right? But in the show, they were like doing like this whole
Three
dance
people.
routine. They were like, "Wah, sa, wah, wah, yeah, sa, wah, da," and then like a very like they did all of that movement, and I remember like they did that whole movement in one scene, and like a small rock, a rock came
Not
by
even
all
kidding.
slow.
Normally,
It's like
what they'll get
took
from
a
that
fucking fraction of the movie time, just like going slow.
by a string, like
Dude, it was like, wah, 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 like all intense,
There was
and then
three
like,
of
the
them.
rock came by like,
working on that one rock.
Yeah.
dude, that shit was so funny.
You know what? It made me think of right now, and it's like something that pissed me off, and I wish they'd stood with it, but I don't think enough people knew about the original. Is the Warcraft movie?
Dude,
I think because people were so bent on World of Warcraft, which is different. They didn't get the movie from the original Warcraft that I played as a kid, and it was like to a T, like it was fucking dope.
That
And
movie
they
was
just
fire.
fucking they are like nobody liked it because they were
Oh, the
thinking of
CGI, like-
World of Warcraft.
But also the comparison of just like other movies, and they think that they know something, they just don't
Yeah.
like it because maybe they wouldn't have liked the game either. You know,
Yeah, and
they're just
that's
not a
one
fan.
That game was so cool.
yeah, and that's one thing we always talked about was like people. Or one thing I always say with Dad is like some people don't like who are like casual movie watchers.
Mm-hmm.
They set and expect like a standard for everything, and if it doesn't meet
Pride
like
too,
with
though.
us as like avid movie watchers, our standards are different for every movie because we take
Yeah.
movies how they are. You know, so like Warcraft, it's not supposed to be a fucking
And I,
end game.
Like, what did you expect?
and I think people
Avengers
watched
movie.
it and they were like, I don't get it.
Exactly.
But because they didn't know the storylines from the game.
Yeah,
The actual video game had all these crazy storylines.
yeah.
And I think that's why we
When you
played all
could-
those games. So it
Yeah.
got us into it.
Oh, you fucking asshole. What's
when
up,
you
Kat?
could change a game into a movie, though, there's oh my gosh,
Here's another special guest. Say hi.
Belly.
Asshole.
That's Bellamy.
Yep.
From the 100.
Hey, buddy.
I think I think they say the 100. Me and you were always like, oh yeah, the 100s. Like it's the 100. I think.
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know.
Previously on the 100. I think that's what they say. And remember when we heard that and we were like,
He's
what?
fucking pulling the cords. He's fighting with the cords.
All right, get your ass out of here, dude.
Stop.
Bellamy.
But yeah, so I'm excited. I the Uncharted movie is gonna disappoint me. That movie's gonna fucking suck. I feel
I don't
like
think it will.
to make to make a prediction. The Uncharted movie's gonna fucking suck. I think Tom Holland himself is gonna kill it, but I think the writing's gonna suck. I think Mark Wahlberg as Sully is gonna fucking blow.
I was
And
telling
I think-
Xander.
I hope it blows you away.
If it does,
I really do.
Yeah.
okay, so that's to go to your point. I'm going in with low expectations. I'm not going with high expectations.
Yeah.
With
okay.
already the set photos, like I was like, this movie's gonna suck cock. Like this movie's gonna beat ass. And so, I'm going with low expectations for that one. The Last of Us one, I am worried that I'm going in with too high of expectations because
I
with the
think you
set photos
can,
and
though.
everything that I think I
Yeah.
can too. I think it's gonna
Exactly.
blow my
With
mind.
Pedro Pascal, I think you are allowed to have like you expect Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal's a
He's
fucking goat.
amazing.
And so I fully expect that one to fucking blow my mind.
It will.
And then I kind of feel like too,
HBO.
from shows to movies and shows because it's longer. You're talking about like our episode times 10 episodes. It's 10, it's a lot of time
Yeah,
to
that's
build that story up. Where in a movie it has
Gotta,
to
like-
happen pretty quickly.
That's a good
So
point.
I
That's
really
why I was
think
saying there's a
you-
respect for that.
You may get through episode 1 and be like, "Oh, that was pretty dope." Like, but it's just the fucking tip of the iceberg. So it's
Yeah.
gonna build up your anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that it's a show is gonna be a lot better for you.
God, it's gonna fucking suck. I hate that these networks started doing weekly television shit. Because
Just give it to
God,
me all
having to
once.
wait for wait a week for Loki and having to wait a week for a Mandalorian episode fucking sucks.
And then it's
Fucking
funny.
sucks.
It's funny too though. Like when we're pissed off because we get busy and we miss an episode, we're like, "Fuck, man, I really wanted to watch it," and we miss it, and then we end up watching it right before the next one, and we get to binge watch 2 in a row. Then it's like
Yeah.
that much more better.
I
Like,
think
all
sometimes
right,
we do that on purpose though, because we're busy. So then
Yeah.
like we'll have like 2 stacked and be like, oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to having to wait. I'm looking forward to the show itself, though. And I have really high expectations for it, and I think it's going to blow my mind.
I think it'll be great.
ow,
Yeah, see, he does that to me, too, like a fucking asshole.
He does it to everybody.
he's fighting my foot. He's trying to fight me. Ow, he fucking bit me.
But yeah, so I expect Uncharted to suck. I expect Last of Us to blow my mind. And I was going to say something else, too.
If they do good on the Uncharted, I was telling Xander that it'll be enjoyable even if you haven't played the game. Because the
Yeah.
story of the game is like, oh, they're going to go look for El Dorado, right? And so there's like a bunch of fight scenes. Like, you don't have to know the story to enjoy the movie.
Oh, yeah, so that's what I was telling Lizzie is they confirmed that the Uncharted game, or the Uncharted movie, it's not going to be an adaptation of one of the games.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to
like
be
a new
it's going to
game.
be a new story.
Oh,
So it's gonna be like
enjoyable
it's gonna still be like canon, where it's like it's gonna still be like in that universe, in that world, with the same characters who think the same and have experienced the same, but they're doing it like before Uncharted 1.
I think it's kind of obvious though when they're younger, they're playing younger versions of them.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so they don't want to disappoint people and make a game about
It's
the first
smart.
one,
it's smart.
before people are like, oh fuck, you know.
yeah.
And to your point though, you were saying, so Troy Baker even said, he was like, I heard that they were gonna write a live action Last of Us, and I was like, please don't be a fucking movie, because the game is 12 hours long.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
you
to
get
your
it
point,
one
that's
season,
perfect.
12 episodes.
Yeah, see, that's perfect. So like what you're saying
You
is
could
perfect.
fit
It's like
everything.
you could fit everything. You could even touch on more. You don't even have to do 12 hours. The Last of Us 1 is 12 hours. You don't even have to do 12 hours. You could do 15 and add extra content.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
in
that's the
betweens.
worst thing for being a fan like you, and you know every aspect of it, and then you watch the show and you're like, they completely left this part out. You know, that'll piss you off and automatically set you in that
Yep.
zone where you're like, that's fucked up. They left this out. You know.
Yeah. And so I'm glad they're doing the TV show. It's smart that they're doing Uncharted, but they're not doing a story that we've heard of. They're doing an off game story. So that's smart. They made a smart decision with that. What else can we talk about? We have Loki on Wednesday. My best friends are coming on Wednesday as well.
Getting tossed down the stairs.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So we have a very productive week. 10 episodes of Stuck in an Elevator.
Yeah.
It's been
What
a fun experience.
What do you think so far? I know you're nervous. It's not that bad once you get on, huh?
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
not that bad.
talking.
We'll get her on again, but with a better microphone.
I'm not talking to strangers either, so.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point too. We'll get you on again, but with a better microphone.
And we'll have some, content too. Maybe we'll get some people that want to ask you some questions, and we'll have it like this one. We just winged it. You know.
Yeah, hoping
Knew
for
we
the
were
best.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, I think it's a good, paying homage to the whole reason. Because when we first started, we said, hey, we don't want no fucking plans. Let's just go out there, be authentic. So if we're making a celebration for our 10th episode, that's what we did.
Yeah.
We came on and we were just authentic. We just talked about the way shit was. 4th of July and, things we
Movies.
love, movies. And so it was perfect for in that aspect,
So before we end the episode, what is some shit that I've talked about, the shit that I'm looking forward to that's coming out in the future, which is Last of Us, Uncharted. What is some shit that you guys heard? That
Dude,
you
the
wanna
way
look
you're
forward
hyping these ones up, like, I'm fucking pumped to do it. Like, I'm actually hoping that the show ignites me. I used to love playing video games, and now I
Can't
want
get
to
into
get
it?
back into them. But, like, I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping that the show gets me like, oh my god, I gotta fucking play this shit now.
So
you know?
so that's what I was gonna say. That was a point I was gonna make, and it just flew out of my brain. What's also cool about that of the Last of Us show, and even in Uncharted, is what those shows are gonna do is they're not just gonna like treat the fans of it like they're not just gonna please me, like people like me. They're also gonna like bring new people to want to play their games. Like they're gonna make
Yeah.
extra money from people wanting to play the games.
They'll probably come out with a new one.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that me talking about this either gets you guys to play the game before the show comes out or watch the
I'm
show
playing.
and then play the game after. Because that game is the greatest game one of the greatest games ever.
I'm really
fucking
excited
made.
for the scenery. There's a lot of scenery in Last of Us.
Oh yeah,
I'm so excited with what they do with that.
So, that's such a perfect. Last of Us, the world, it's post-apocalyptic, zombies and shit.
Vines everywhere, like it's messy.
But it's
really
like,
nice.
like mossy and like overgrown, like, but the fucking scenery is beautiful.
Yeah, because it's like there hasn't been many people to destroy it, so like finally, you know what I'm trying to say?
We've got the cars out of the way, no more
Exactly.
smog and plants are able to thrive.
It's just like,
Exactly.
yep. I'm gonna spoil a part of the game. But it's a very underrated scene. It's a lot of avid fans know about this scene, and I'm hoping they nail this in the show. It's not like a spoiler giveaway or anything, but the plot of The Last of Us is whatever happens to Joel, and then it's like 10 years, maybe like 5 years into the future of being in the apocalypse. So the start of the game, the apocalypse first hits, and it shows Joel when the apocalypse first hit, and it travels like 5 to 10 years in the future of like him being in the like surviving whatever. He meets this girl named Ellie, and a girl named Ellie, and I think it's 13 years in the apocalypse, or 14, 15, because the character of Ellie, she was born in the apocalypse, so her character, she's never experienced, like 14, so she's never experienced what the real world looked like before the apocalypse, which is such an important thing about the game. When you play the game and you play it, and when you like are looking after her as Joel, you really get to see her. So pretty much, she's been in the apocalypse for as long as since she was born, and she's never been out of like her little sanction, because there's like a community, like in The Walking Dead. Think of like the Walking Dead. So there's a community. She's been in that community, so she's never seen the outside world. She doesn't know what the world looked like before the apocalypse. And there's this scene in like the beginning of the game, I think, or like it's like 5 hours into the game, I think maybe, where Joel is like trying to transfer Ellie, because Joel's whole mission is he's trying to transfer Ellie to a different community to help her. And while he's doing that, he realizes shit about her. I'm gonna save that for the game.
Sweet tooth it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna sweet tooth it. He realizes shit about her, and then realizes how valuable she is, and then he grows a bond with her as a daughter.
Like the one. Never mind.
Well, it's at literally the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
You played it, right? The very beginning of the game.
I think so, yeah.
Do you remember what happens at the beginning?
No.
Okay, then I won't.
I don't think I went that far.
Well, I mean, I kind of said it in our group chat. When or when you sent when the picture was sent.
It's literally the very beginning of the game.
I don't think it's that much of a spoiler. I mean, it kind of gives like.
So pretty much, it shows what happened when the apocalypse hit with Joel, and his fucking daughter dies at the very beginning.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm ready to see Pedro Pascal play that.
So there's a scene. It's the most emotional scene. When you talk about people who played video games growing up, and you ask them what their most emotional moment was playing a video game, that one is up there as like one of the top 3 answers.
Wow.
So like most people who played that game who had a daughter or something cried their fucking eyes out.
That's where we're the car too, right? When we're
they're driving down the hill, and at the beginning of that segment, what happens is he's trying to carry his daughter, and then like these these army guys come up, and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" Like these army guys, it's like the start of the apocalypse. They don't know who's infected or who's not.
Yeah.
So they just were like, stay there, don't move. And then like Joel's like,
there was blood,
and then Joel's like tripped or something. Yeah, there was like she like tripped or something. There was blood, and then like they were like, oh fuck, she's infected. And like Joel was like, don't do anything, man. Like just let us go. And
like
he just
really emotional, like this is my daughter. Like we're good.
Like just let us go, man. Like we gotta fucking get out of here. Like whatever. And then they just open fire on them, and then the bullets kill the daughter. Obviously, they shoot because he has her in his arms, so she takes all the bullets. And then he's like they get shot and they fall down this hill, and then like Joel's like crawling up. And then he sees his daughter like on her back, like twitching after getting like 8 bullet holes in her chest.
Sad.
And then he crawls over to her and he's like, baby girl. And he's like holds her, he picks her up. He picks her up and they just start crying. She's like crying her eyes out like, daddy, no. And then like, because she's like dying.
She's little.
And then like Joel's just like, no, whatever, right? Joel, I can't wait for Pedro Pascal to act that scene. He's gonna make me cry. He's gonna make me cry.
He cried when Grogu left, but that was like a tear. Like what happens?
That part threw me off because I knew the game had the little girl Ellie,
yes,
so I didn't know, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? She just died? Like,
yeah.
Does she come back to life? Is that her secret power or something?
Yeah.
But I didn't know if someone completely different.
So to draw the comparison, I'm not gonna give it all away, but Joel meets Ellie like 15 years later. And then he like tries to transfer something because he realizes something about her. But then as he's like traveling across like the country to like bring her to wherever he was asked to bring her to, he starts growing a bond with her, and he like almost gets a second chance at her daughter with her.
Yeah.
And that's like the whole story is like him growing a bond with this girl who like
it's a sarcastic kid.
yeah,
that's just,
she's
like,
kind of like a fucking
excited
bitch.
to
Like,
see
she
everything.
like she's just a dick, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And so
she's
like
a great
he starts to grow a bond with her, and like the whole plot is like he gets a second chance at her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so it's a fucking powerful story, and there's a scene, and I can't wait for it to happen in the show. It's one of those scenes where it's such a powerful scene in the game that if they don't do it in the show, it'd be criminal. And it's a scene where he's taking Ellie out for the first time. She's never been out of her little community. She doesn't know what the world looked like before the virus. And he's taking her out, and they're on this rooftop. There's like a hole in this rooftop, and they're on this rooftop. And she sees a giraffe for the first time. And it's this powerful scene where like Joel's like watching her like interact with the giraffe for the first time, and she's like feeding it, and she's like, wow, you know. And she has this like powerful moment where she's like, sees
The one
giraffe for
time
the
where
first
she's
time.
not running her mouth and she's being a cute little girl, you know.
You know, and he's like, wow, fuck, like that. And then he like sees that, and then he like wants to show her shit like throughout the game. And then they obviously go through adversity, facing like, you know, these things called clickers that are like zombies and
Freaking
shit. And then they
freaky.
face like this army force that's trying to look for them, whatever. There's this whole shit, but they have to nail that scene, dude, because it's one of the most powerful scenes in the entire game. And if they,
I think they could even replace the animal, but like just have the scene.
dude,
Get that moment.
what they're on the rooftops, and like a family of giraffe just walk the streets, and then she's like, what the fuck?
Dinosaurs?
Yeah, and then she's like, what are those? And he's like, it's giraffe. You don't know what a giraffe looks like? And then he sees her interact with one of the giraffes, who walks over to her and like is like looking like eating the tree off the.
What if they change it to something stupid and it pisses you off, like
It's a pig.
a sloth or something? You
I don't know, a sloth
or
would be
fucking
dope.
Chicken.
I wouldn't be that upset,
Look at
but
all
they
those
just have to
chickens.
have that moment
Yeah.
because it's such a powerful moment where you see innocence in a character that's known nothing but like isolation and fucking death and shit.
Yeah.
I could
You
see
know?
Bella Ramsey playing that. Okay.
Yeah. So speaking of Bella Ramsey, I was so mad about it at first. She's growing on me a tad bit. I have to see her on set.
The more you picture it, the better.
Yeah,
it is.
I could kind of picture it. She was not like even in my top 100 of people I'd cast as Ellie. So that's why I was kind of disappointed, but I think she'll kill it.
It's the little girl in Game of Thrones, the one that
You
died
remember
from
in
the
the
giant.
final? Yeah, you remember in the final season, she like got picked up by this
Went out like
giant.
a
She
G.
stabs him in the eye.
Yeah.
She's like, ah! She's gonna play Ellie, which we saw. With that being the last thing we saw of that actress.
Pedro Pascal was in Game of Thrones too.
Yeah, which
Oh,
of
yeah.
the most brutal scene I've ever seen in my life.
It's one of the
What the
first
Till
times
this
I
day-
ever got introduced to him.
That scene scarred me. Like that scene fucked me up.
He was fucking that dude up too. He was winning.
That
Dude.
scene got me like, whoa!
That scene gave me
The
some
mountain,
very
right?
very thick skin.
It was.
Because I remember how fucked up it was, being like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like he just picked him up, and like
He was
Pedro
so
Pascal,
cocky.
Pedro Pascal acted it so well too. He
Yeah.
was like this charismatic, like fucking prince, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, getting his fucking head crushed. You're like, what the fuck?
Eyeballs first.
Dude, I was like,
Yeah.
holy
And
shit.
his sister had to watch.
I remember
Dude.
just being like,
Fuck. That
Yeah.
that
because
scene
you
gave
thought
me
he
thick
was gonna
skin.
be a character. You really thought like he was gonna be
Yeah.
a great character who's gonna fix the crap going on. Dies right
I
there.
remember how bad like that scene fucked. It gave me a lot of thick skin.
Really?
Also, I think it was prosthetics. I'm pretty
And
sure
we were
that scene
just
was
talking about
prosthetics.
that, yeah.
Yep, and it was the most brutal, fucked up scene.
Yeah, he was. He said.
Prosthetics. There we
What's
go.
funny though is that in an interview, I believe he was like, you know, I don't even remember that I did that. Like, I didn't think it'd make a cut. That was like a 1 day thing. Like, I forget that I was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, nobody forgot.
The most
Ah.
charismatic
You're the only
dude ever.
one.
Like he's one of the few actors that if you saw him on the street, you would feel comfortable walking up to him, not being
I'd
afraid.
cry.
I would cry too. Probably, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Robbie Malek
Fucking
got this
Metro
good
Metro.
approach.
I automatically thought of the scene of Step Brothers where he brings out the sword and it's like, that's signed by Randy Jackson.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, that's signed by Pedro Pascal. Why'd you sign the sword? Well, I wasn't gonna not have him sign something. That's all I had on me.
And that scene is even funnier when you think like, what the fuck was he walking around?
Why-
with?
Yeah, why would
Yeah.
you walk in the streets with a fucking sword, dude? I'm
That's
not gonna not get his autograph.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
That's all I
had
had
on
on
me.
me.
Why the
Yeah.
fuck did you have a sword on you in the middle of the street?
Where fucking Randy Jackson's walking.
It's just
So
like,
dumb.
it just adds their character how fucking
It's
nerdy
like,
and
oh,
dorky
okay.
they are.
Oh,
Like
okay.
fucking 40-year-old virgins, you know? Just like
Yeah.
fucking weirdos.
That's what I thought of right now when you're like, I'd probably cry.
Yeah, fucking
his son.
Pedro Pascal. Yeah.
What do you sign?
Pedro
My
Pascal,
old
man.
sneaker.
Yeah.
Why? It's all I had on me.
Dude, I would never wear those shoes again. Whatever shoes I was wearing that
Frame
day,
it.
if that was the only thing he could sign, I'd fucking frame that shit.
Yeah.
Petuous as a man, dude. Like,
So
he's
nice.
one of the... He would give you the best experience meeting him on the street.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because he would be the nicest dude.
Yeah.
You know? As long as you weren't, like... There's 3 rules. Let me clarify this for all the viewers, because I watch a lot of shit with actors and shit. So let me just give this to all the people who don't know. There are rules to when you see a celebrity, right? You saw a celebrity. You didn't cross any of those rules. There's rules when you meet a celebrity. Do not try to fucking say hello to them when they're eating. Do not follow them to the bathroom.
Ew, that's
Dude,
scary.
there's stories of actors like being followed to the bathroom and like taking a shit and like someone's knocking on the door like, "Hey, are you fucking Brock Lesnar?"
Brock
You
Lesnar?
know,
what the
actor,
heck?
Whatever actor, or just like whatever, just someone famous where they're like, "Yeah, I got followed to the fucking bathroom. They were knocking on the stool trying to talk to me." Or like one where they're like, I was pissing at a urinal and someone was like, "Hey, were you that guy in that one show?"
Will
Like, dude,
you
my
pee
dick's
on
out.
my shirt?
Yeah,
Pee on my shirt for me.
Yeah, it's like, don't go to follow someone to the fucking bathroom, and don't fucking interrupt someone while they're eating, dude.
Yeah.
You know, those are like very, very, like, we saw that homeboy at a comic shop. Like, that was one of the times where
Colin
it's like,
Farrell.
yeah, where it's like, that's fine. You know, and then you were respectful about it, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, hey, you know.
I seen him and we locked eyes and I was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And he was like, he pointed at his kid and I was like, "Hey, I get it. You know,
Yeah.
he's trying to spend time
Put
with
your
his
phone
kid."
away immediately.
Yeah,
And I put my phone in my
I
pocket.
was right there. I was like, who?
I actually went to go like to start walking away and he stopped me to shake my hand. So that
Yeah,
was cool.
he was like,
Yeah, you
hey,
get
wait a
moment
second.
like that.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey," like he appreciated that I was being cool about him being out with his kids.
he
So I was
said
like,
that.
Well, yeah,
too.
because
Cool.
here's the
That's
thing.
so sad.
Yeah.
Like, dehumanizing these people. It's awful.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Hello? Okay, never mind. I thought I was using this microphone for both and recording. I didn't record my mic. I thought I wasn't recording my microphone. Anyway.
That would have been awful.
Yeah, that would have been bad. But yeah, you get a moment like that. That's really fucking cool. You know,
Yeah.
you had a moment with the guy. You know, I feel like that's more valuable than a picture.
Yeah.
More valuable to respecting that person, too. Like, imagine.
Like, I
was trying
don't.
to get acquainted
If
with
I
this
saw
kid.
a celebrity, I don't think that my first instinct would be like. The more I think about it, because I have more time to think about it. Like, that one was very spontaneous. Like, you don't think about shit like how would I meet an actor.
Yeah.
But like, I think I would like just want to have a moment with them, just shake their hand, talk to them, or whatever. And if they were like, "Hey, did you want to take a picture?" Then I'd do it. Only if they asked, though. You know, I think
Yeah.
that's how I'd approach meeting a celebrity. Just being like, I want to have that moment, that story, and if they offer it, I'll fucking get a
I'd probably
picture.
be
Yeah,
also.
because
cheesy.
there's a lot of people too that are very disrespectful. Like even though that like if it was somebody else and he was like, "Hey man, I'm with my kid," they would be like, "Oh, I don't care." Like they would still like took selfies and shit with them and,
Oh yeah, that's cool.
and ruined the.
Oh, he could be in
opportunity
it,
for the
too.
kid.
Like,
Yeah,
It's kind of like that thing that just came out with Bieber when he was outside of his house and he's telling those people like telling that girl like, "Hey, like this is my sanctuary, this is my home, this is where I go to relax. You know, don't come here. Like I don't appreciate you guys doing this. Like don't come to my home. This
Yeah,
is, you know,
exactly.
meet
Third
me
world
out there,
don't go to the
cool." And then right after he's done saying that, she goes, "Can I get a hug?" And he's like, "No, like fuck, did you not listen to what I just said?"
yeah.
He's like, "No," and like walked in like you
imagine
don't
being
get
that
it.
fan. That's
Yeah.
embarrassing on you.
Well, because she's not listening too. Like
yeah,
he's an idiot.
exactly.
he literally held a conversation with you for one. You should be grateful you got that.
For real.
He talked to you as
He
a
didn't call the
fucking
police,
human
did he?
being.
Like,
I'm not a
sheesh.
Bieber fan, but like
A
he
person,
talked to
though?
her like a human being, one-on-one. Said, "Hey, respect me, please."
Yeah.
He was cool. He could have just said, "Fuck you guys," pushed right on through. But he was like, "Hey man, like you know, this is my
Call the
home.
cops
If you
and
see me
crap."
out in a fucking coffee shop, cool, whatever. But not here in front of my home, okay?
Yeah.
Can I get a hug, bitch?
Yeah.
No, fuck. Like that shit irritated me watching that.
Yeah.
Like I was stupid, and she turns around all like, "Oh, bitch, did you not
And then
listen
people
to what he
like
just said?"
people like her start feeling bad for her. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, are you fucking? Yeah. Third rule: don't follow them to their house. Obviously.
Don't
Or
go to
their
fucking
house,
Yeah.
Don't
He-
do those. Just
You should just be grateful that he held a conversation with you as an adult,
He looked
even though
at you.
you didn't act like an adult at the very end.
hmm
yeah, for real.
Yeah, I was gonna end this episode 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just reiterate everything. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Nah. Thank you guys for checking in. You know.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who listened this far. It's the 10th episode. First guest ever, my sister Neg Neg, my best
Dude.
friend ever.
When you think about it too, like not only 10 episodes, but like for 10 weeks straight, we've
Yep.
done this and we still consistent.
It's a
10
routine.
weeks. That's over 2 months, dude. That's fucking pretty
dedication.
awesome, man.
Yep.
That's amazing.
You know. I'm pretty pumped about it. Like 10 may not seem a big number to you guys, but
It
we've
is,
stood
though.
consistent. There's been days where we had issues. We've had camera issues. We've had different things, and like we still made sure, like, X had to redo a few episodes that he didn't like or something didn't go right, and, like, we stood consistent with it. So, like, props to you for...
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. If the audio sucks in this one, I apologize, although I don't think, like, I think regardless of if the audio is good or not, if you could just hear what we're saying, I think this podcast was good no matter what.
Yeah. Thank you, Lizzie Bear.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Being the first
my best friend
ever.
Yeah. First ever guest.
Yes. So, thanks to everybody who listened. You could follow the podcast at SIAE Podcast on Twitter, Stuck in an Elevator Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me at Bucky Barney with 2 Y's on Twitter and on Twitch if you want to see me live stream video games. And then you can find my YouTube channel, which I might be uploading on since my best friends are coming.
Yeah, I was just going to say, make sure you guys watch those. There's going to be a lot of videos.
There's going to be a lot of videos of us fucking around.
Yeah.
I grew up making YouTube videos, and most of my videos were made with the 2 guys that I'm going to meet for the very first time ever.
It's going to be dope.
Captain Marvel and Poop on the Dead themselves. And they're going to come to our house, and we're going to have a lot of...
Dumbest names ever.
Dumbest names ever. They're going to come to our house, and we're going to have we're going to record a lot of content, and we should have a lot of shit for YouTube. So, Xander OP3 on YouTube, everything in the description below. My sister just started a new Twitch channel that she's gonna live stream with my god sister.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Do your plug your shit. Come on.
It's called "What Are You Gonna Do?" with an underscore for do.
You know what? That'd be a good fucking podcast name too.
Well, me and Nico always wanted to start a podcast because we always like, "What are you gonna do?" It's like Hakuna Matata. Means no worries. What are you gonna do? Means don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you could do nothing. Yep.
It'd just be unique in the back. Every now and then going, I don't know.
Yeah, the quietest person ever.
Nothing.
Yeah, so what are you gonna underscore do on Twitch? You can see them live stream. If you're seeing this on... Well, they're not gonna see this, but hopefully they'll be live streaming a consistent amount.
We'll do more, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're gonna do a lot.
I think we're doing it tomorrow.
Maybe we'll do some crossovers where we do some shit with them on their...
Mario Party or something, that'd be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna get some more microphones.
Yeah, for sure.
To make sure that we guarantee that these episodes sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you everybody who listened. I just plugged all the socials. If you forgot already, all of it will be in the description down below. Leave a comment down below what you enjoyed the most. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe. Tell all your friends.
Like, share.
Mm-hmm. And that's that.
Firefighters are here. Time to get out of the elevator.